today I went for a walk, and my walk ended with a Mewtwo raid, which was pretty cool. So in the Pokemon Go games, they have these raids now, where you need like a bunch of people to go to like a gym and like fight the same Pokemon, and then you can catch them. So right now, Armor and Mewtwo is like one of the, I guess, highlights of the Pokemon Go raid game. So we fought it with like 14 people, and that was cool. And then
were they physically next to you?
Yeah, they were physically next to me.
Oh wow, that's fucking cool.
It's pretty rad. Yeah, well, the cool thing is there's like a Discord that exists for the area, so like people actually will like text each other on the Discord and be like, "Hey, is anyone going there? You want to go raid this Mewtwo?
Yeah, let's go kick Mewtwo's ass right now.
Yeah,
or I'll meet you at like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, seriously, like that's what happens, man. And that's the thing, because there's like a countdown. So, but yeah, so we fought it. That was great. And like I was like the newbie, because like everyone's like level, like max level, and I'm like I'm level 26. I was like, whatever. All right, as long as I contributed somewhat. And then you have the chance. The thing is, you have a chance to catch it, but with like limited Pokeballs. Like you only have like a couple of like premier balls is what they give you.
Like how much would you say? Like 5 or 10?
Depending on your performance in the raid, like maybe max 10. I got 7.
Oh man, so you didn't do too bad. That's
I didn't
good.
do too bad. Well, I don't know if 10 is the max, but
okay.
I got some bonuses. But yeah, I did that, and then I didn't catch Mewtwo. He got away. And
No.
I was like, dang it, man, because I don't really. I was just out on a walk, so like coincidentally was like ran into all these people about to do this raid. So I was like, sweet, and then it didn't happen. So that was my morning.
And then Mewtwo spoke English and said,
"Oh my gosh, yes, no, he spoke Japanese."
Me.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I need the dub. I don't know what's going on. Or the sub. Oh god. But anyway, welcome everyone to the Yoshi's Word podcast, episode 4. By now, you should know I'm Jay, and I am here with Neil.
Hello.
What's up, Neil?
Not much, man. I'm doing good. I am in a new location, a new undisclosed location in Kentucky. But that is that's where I'm at right now, and that does play a factor into the first topic we're going to be discussing.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I do want to point out, for those who listen to our podcast with visuals, you will see our new art by Leon at Leon Sorcerer on Twitter. So go check their stuff out. Yeah, and I don't have much of an intro right now, other than this is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. It's the 4th one. By now, you must have been following the first 3. But if you are jumping in, hey, welcome. You might be a little bit confused, but it's all D&D talk. So if you're familiar with D&D, then enjoy. If anything, it's a storytelling podcast. And yeah, I don't know. Anything else to throw in, Neil?
Regarding D&D, you picked up, you were just telling me the Vox Machina comics. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Sure, we can briefly talk about that one. Yeah, I just picked up Series 2 of the Critical Role Vox Machina Origins comic series, which I don't know if it follows after the first series, because they had a first series of like 6 books, or 6 comic books. I don't know if they're called books or comic books, because they're not that long, but anyway, the fact that I'm familiar with Critical Role, it's not that hard to get into. And it's great. It's been great so far. It's about Grog. I think he gets possessed or something and then walks away, and his party's looking for him. And they introduce Pike, who is played by Ashley Johnson. So it's really neat reading this comic, knowing that there are voices tied to these characters. So like upon reading it, it's just like watching Critical Role. In a way, and it's cool. So check out Vox Machina Origins, which hopefully when this goes up, the first couple of issues should be out, because I think it's a monthly issue. So check that out too.
Check it out, and Matt Mercer gets on your show.
On to the sessions. Let's talk about Session 9, the Starseer Trials. And for this one, you weren't actually here, Neil.
No, I wasn't.
You want to explain why?
Because I overshot Illinois. I moved.
You overshot Illinois.
Basically, I Drove from Nebraska, shot over Illinois, and I'm in good old Kentucky.
Yeah. So, and you're enjoying that delicious fried chicken.
That's right. KFC buffet. You go there, you get all the gravy.
Just rub. That's all you did that day.
That's
you were like, I'm not going to D&D. I'm going to KFC
No, I
buffet.
want high cholesterol and like chicken skins all over myself.
Oh God! Oh my God! All right. Anyway,
but the fact of the matter is, I missed this session once again. I feel real bad because this was the first session that I've missed.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Even after moving from Illinois, it's like I still was able to make everything else except this one.
Yeah, you've been very good about that. But hey, life happens, things happen.
That's true.
It's a game, and you'll be back the next one, which you were.
Right. So Papa, tell me what happened. Tell me what happened in session 9.
So pretty much we had a guest. My cousin Julian came and played with us, which again was something you missed out on.
I know.
It was great. Julian is a natural kind of, I don't know if actor is the word, role player maybe. He got into it immediately, right? So we threw him in. It was kind of the same situation because Brandon came in early and Julian came on time. So they were both earlier than the rest of the party, and we were kind of like, should we kind of get him in to understand, how this works, blah, blah, blah. So we did like a dream sequence thing. Threw them into a dream sequence where Darian and his Julian's character named Chester, who was a Drow, I'm trying to remember it, Drow elf, and I think fighter ranger, something along those lines.
Okay.
I think he was a ranger, a fighter, but like his focus was on like shooting arrows. Archery. What am I trying to say here? Sorry, my phone made a notification. I just took a look at it. But we threw them in, and Julian, I don't know if he was like playing a character or if he just kind of, I know what he wanted to do was like, I don't want to fight anybody. I'm going to like go through your whole game and befriend all your monsters. I was like, okay. So we just threw them into this kind of dream scenario sequence like you and Brandon normally have. And initially I had them fight each other because I was just like, just understand what the game is, what the fighting mechanics are. Because
how to make the rolls and all that.
Yeah. So as he's like, so they didn't want to fight each other. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw a Pit Fiend at them. So I threw a Pit Fiend down.
Whoa.
And like I killed them both. And they woke up, and everyone was there by the time that happened. So we started that day off. It was pretty kind of chill and relaxed session, if anything. The party went around the town to do some, I think, shopping. If anything, Novell had to pick up some stuff, and Chester joined them. We didn't work on a backstory, so Chester's whole thing was pretty much just kind of like, I have amnesia, but I got nothing else better to do, so I'm going to join you guys. And I was like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it works, right? But the latter half, what else did they do? The latter half of this whole entire thing was they finished the Starseer Dungeons, or Starseer Trials, which we've spoken about.
Yeah, I wanted to see the end of that. Man.
Yeah, sorry, man.
It's okay. Just let me know if like they fought a crazy alien from like Men in Black or something.
So you can pretend it was. I mean, they fought what was called a Void Dragon. So here's what they did. They went back to finish it all up. Did they do you don't remember the planet thing, did you? You weren't part of that.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so that was a somewhat not the best puzzle. It's not even a puzzle. It was just more like an ability check. So the room, imagine like the room was kind of this like space galaxy thing.
Okay.
With it was exactly 9 planets circling around in orbit with the sun in the middle, obviously our solar system. So you had to kind of do ability acrobatics checks to kind of like make it past each planet. Failing the check would overshoot you gravity-wise, and you would kind of overshoot onto another planet. Each planet had its own issue, or problem issue, attack damage, whatever you want to call it, where, one of the planets was too cold, so it would do cold damage to you, or one of the planets was toxic environment, so it would do like toxic damage to you. Even the Earth-like planet that one had like tiny humans, so if you landed on that one, they would like throw spears at you.
Ah,
So that'd be like a 1d4 damage.
like Gulliver's Travels. They try to tie you down and like yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
So that I don't know how fun that was. I think it was fun at first, but it took a little too long to kind of get through it. I think if anything, Genbu was failing his acrobatics checks a lot. So
was it all acrobatics checks to jump from planet to planet?
Yeah, I think I did a mix of like acrobatics and dex, and it all depended on what the scenario was and how they were trying to jump planets. But yeah, it ended up becoming kind of a repeat of like dex 4 or 5 times, which became repetitive and boring after a while. So I kind of just had like one final check and just kind of did this. It takes you a couple of times and you finally make it. Blah blah blah. Once they made it, all of the planets aligned into like one bridge basically that they could go back across, and Genbu was like, F this, I'm out. And he stepped onto like the Neptune like planet, which healed him a little bit because it did a lot of damage to him, that whole room. And I was like, man, this was like a really meh room. I had an original plan, but I actually changed it last minute where like the room was, I had like a grid on like on a paper, like I don't even know, man. It was like a 10 by 10 grid or something.
Sure.
And like you would just try to jump on each panel and they would send you in different directions, kind of like the Pokemon rooms.
Oh yeah, with the tiles that
yeah.
And so cuz since D&D is such a, you know, imagination type game, like you didn't visibly have the tile, you wouldn't have had visible tiles showing, okay, you're gonna go in this direction, that direction.
That's right? The thing, right? I was originally thinking about it and I was gonna draw it out, but I was like, that seems like not really, doesn't seem too fun because it's more random than, or I guess it's as random as like rolling dice, but at least rolling dice you can add your like modifiers to it. But this one's just like, there's no way to tell which way you're supposed to go. And at some point, it's really just have one guy jump on it and see where it leads. And if it's bad, then don't go on it. And the fact that I had like the grid so huge, I was like, this is extremely boring. Let's just go theater of the mind where we just roll a couple dice and just say what happens. Kind of.
Yeah, that'd definitely be better. It's that, or you like get out chutes and ladders and like you put that on top of the mat.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it was the same concept. So like, the tile room was pretty much like you would step on tiles and you, like Pokemon, you'd run into someone who would battle you. In this version, I guess you could say, you'd fall into a black hole and then end up back at the start.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think the planet one at least had a little bit more variety because you saw like the 9, our solar system. What are we, the Milky Way? Is that correct, or what?
Milky Way galaxy sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so you made Pluto a planet.
Yeah, Pluto was the coldest one.
What?
That one did cold damage if you
why did
land
I
on
miss that?
Yeah, I mean, and I think Venus, I made the toxic one, so that did poison damage. Earth was the one with the humans, or I guess I think I said like ant-like creatures. Like it wasn't really distinguished. They're humanoid, I think is what I said.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. Jupiter. I think it was Jupiter, either Jupiter or Saturn. I just think if you stayed on it too long, like it would start like crushing you based off its gravity, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So it was much more interesting than just like step on panels, fall into black hole, repeat, like do that again. So I asked, I think people weren't too into it, which that was fine. That was understandable. And then they moved on from that. They got their healing from Neptune. Oh, Neptune also, that one you would have started drowning. The water started rising on it as you like stood on it, so you started drowning on it.
Okay.
And then they went to another puzzle room, and this puzzle is much better. I borrowed it from WASD20, a YouTube channel. So I think it's WASD20. If I can find it later, I will find it later. But I also believe they got it from a video game as well. It's pretty much the limb puzzle. I think it's from Silent Hill? I could be completely wrong about that too. But it has pictures of the, oh man, what is it called? Tauros and Virgo.
Oh, the
and
astrological
Zodiacs.
signs.
Astrological signs, yeah, those. Yeah. So it has their pictures and it has numbers underneath them. And there's 4 pictures above, 4 pictures on the bottom, and the 4 pictures above have the numbers under it, while the 4 pictures on the bottom do not have numbers under it, but they have keypads, and you have to basically punch in the number of limbs. That was nice because that one was a better puzzle. I threw it in front of them, and I went to go pee, let them kind of discover it, and they figured it out once I got back. So that was a much easier puzzle. So I learned a little bit about puzzles through this dungeon. My puzzles suck. Or at least puzzles, I shouldn't say that. I don't think it was that bad, but puzzles are hard to make, man.
Yeah, they're hard to execute because those you need visual. Yeah. At least for me, you need visuals for those.
Yeah, and the other thing too is puzzles in general, like, it's, I think I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm just going to steal puzzles because I don't have the note, but I think they did a third puzzle, unless you were part of that, where they had to put the elements in the astrological signs inside of their element, so earth, wind, fire, and water. And that one was kind of crappy too because it's not agreed upon anywhere, and you needed like real life knowledge to do that. So I learned a lot about puzzles after this session.
I wasn't a part of that one. Could you explain that a little bit?
Okay, so that must have been on here too because I wrote down element puzzle. So pretty much you have 12 astrological signs, and 3 of them each belong to different elements. So I think Taurus is like an earth element, and I think Pisces is a water element. I think.
Okay.
And that's just real life knowledge. That's just a thing. And according to who, I don't know, I was just trying to make that a thing. If that makes any sense. I was just like using that, trying to make a puzzle based off of the astrological signs and the elements. I was like, okay, that could work. But it wasn't really a good puzzle. That one I will admit was like not really the best puzzle.
I mean, it sounds like common sense wise. Okay, Pisces is a fish, water, sure. Right. But Taurus, I don't know if that would have been Earth to me.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is like, one, it's common. It feels a little common sense. 2, I'm punishing you based off of your real world knowledge, right? Like if you get it wrong, they got like psychic damage, and I wasn't trying to kill anyone with it. It was just kind of like another room to like explore. But that was the problem was just kind of like, this is like weird. Like, it's not an in-game puzzle, and it's not a puzzle that's like, if you look at it, you can solve it. It's kind of like you can just guess based off of it, and it doesn't really feel good one way or another, I guess.
I'm glad you used Western zodiac signs instead of Eastern Chinese signs, because that one gets way too in depth. It's like, okay,
like the rooster and
the rooster, and like the specific months, like, oh, you're an iron snake or a wood sheep. It's like, yeah, dude,
even I wouldn't be. If I can't like figure it out by guessing, I wouldn't. I would not make that for you guys. But yeah, that was. So you kind of missed out on me trying to dabble on like making puzzles and seeing if they were good or if they were interesting, using a using a good professionally made puzzle, if that's a term you want to use. That's an interesting puzzle though too, because it's not really a puzzle, it's more like a mind bender. It's like you see the numbers, you got to figure out why the numbers correlate to the creature, and then you just realize that you're just counting limbs. Like, mm-hmm. It seems like such a simple puzzle, but it is better because in a D&D scenario, you don't want to be stuck there, doing math or trying to figure out, what, how does this relate to real world history? What's, national treasure? I'm going to make a whole national treasure puzzle for you guys.
Dude, that'd be sick. You make us literally whatever the equivalent of Mount Rushmore in your game is. Like, it'll be the heroes of Zalani, but there's like, yeah, right? in rock face.
That'd be hilarious. Oh my gosh.
That would be great.
But yeah, that'd be a whole campaign in and of itself, or at least an adventure, man.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was the puzzle side to it, and then they did the I think there was only one battle. I think the way, if I'm trying to remember how the dungeon was laid out, I believe the three left rooms were puzzles and the 3 right rooms were battles. Since they were testing essentially your wisdom and your might at that point. And I think you guys finished two battles, right? You finished 2 battles and then you couldn't. It left. It was morning or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they finished the puzzles, and then they went to the other side and finished the last room, which was a void dragon. Shout out to Kobold Press, because that's a Kobold Press Tome of Beast creature. And they fought an adult, I think it was an adult void dragon that I threw at them.
It's like a space dragon.
It was a space dragon, yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Imagine that I gotta explain too. That was a funny scene. So it was similar to the planets where they walked in and the door closed behind them and they were just standing in space. Like they were standing like on nothing, but they were in space. There were asteroids laid about, and you could see shooting stars flying underneath you, above you, around you, everywhere. You're just in space. But the asteroids were kind of laid out in somewhat of a circle. So everyone was kind of cautious on like what to do, right? No one wanted to really step up and do anything, which is understandable. You're like all of a sudden in space, the door you just entered closed behind you, and now there's really no way out. So Genbu walks up and starts playing pool with the asteroids.
That's awesome.
And the interesting thing that I really enjoyed was at first he hit one like away from the center of like the circle. So that one just flew, right? And I was like, yeah, all right, that one flies off. And then he hit one. He wanted to hit an asteroid with another asteroid. So he struck an asteroid towards the middle, and it hit something in the middle, and it bounced upward. And that's when the Void Dragon's eye opened up. So they saw the eye open, and the Void Dragon started moving. So this space that was in the center, this galaxy, this stars and space in the center that basically just looked like more space, ended up like
it was
rising
blending
up.
in.
It was camouflage, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it like rose up and was like, "What the hell, man?" Yeah, and then it was even more pissed because it was like, "Dude, that was my couch," and then they started fighting. So that was like a fun way to like kind of start that interaction. And then Kagatsuchi, midway through the whole battle, was like, "Wait, why are we fighting?" Like, who started this fight? Like, he did.
He messed up my couch, man.
Yeah, like, or I think Genbu was like, the dragon did, and then the dragon was like, "Hey, you destroyed my couch. You threw my couch at me. What are you talking about?" And then they diffused the situation from that, which was actually really cool. I wasn't sure what my initial thought was that the party was gonna have a full fight and take out the dragon. And I was going to give them the option to like spare it or kill it. But the fact that they stopped it way before it even got there, the Starseer reappeared and was like, he reappeared and was just like, "See, they're not evil." And it was just an interesting take because both of them started talking to each other, the dragon and the Starseer, and they're like, "Wow, that's crazy. That these these Faerunians are not intensely, they're not all barbarians."
No, we'll talk our way out of situations if it leads to us not getting killed.
Goes back to my whole, we spoke about this way in session 1 stuff where it's like, I'm trying to throw these weird moral situations at you guys where it's like, oh, aliens, let's kill them. Why are they here? It's like, they're not evil. They're not, not everything has to be killed, right? That's what I'm trying to throw in. And you don't have to abide by anything. By all means, kill whatever you guys want. It's just different, right? Mm-hmm. So that was another thing I threw in. And it was cool because they were able to discuss some things. And then after all that, the final room of the dungeon was completed, or so they think. And as they go to the end of the beginning of the first room of the dungeon, there's a galaxy that's opened up. A portal that's opened up. And so I think Genbu sticks his sword in there, and Chester dives in, and Darien falls in, and Novell falls in, and Kagatsuchi's like, "Nah, I'm good." He just stays out. So everyone ends up in the astral plane, but everyone's separated from each other, and that was a little fun scene too, because Chester started picking up and petting things in the astral plane, and of course the astral plane the way that we play it is very strange. It has rules of its own. So as he's petting like this like bullfrog, I think he picked up, I was like, oh yeah. So you pick it up, you start petting it, it turns into like a morphed bullfrog dog creature, and then it becomes something else a couple minutes later. And I love Julian's reaction because he's just like, oh, never mind. I drop it. I was like, all right. I think Darian just kind of walked around looking up and observing but not touching anything. I don't remember what Genbu did or if I had Genbu do anything.
Was Bard Kelly there?
Bard Kelly did not make an appearance. Because this was basically at the end of the session, so I was trying to just kind of wrap it up. And Novell, so what I needed everyone to do was make a wisdom check. Novell ended up getting the highest of the 4, thus ending up at a somewhat like of an altar or an office. It's kind of an altar or like a stage that was all galaxy. Again, this whole galaxy theme that's going on. And she met this woman there named Talithe Valshiar, who again is also a creation of, I believe, the Kobold Press. Sorry, that's just all these things I got from the Humble Bundle RPG bundle. I'm just,
putting it to
taking
good
advantage
use.
of it. It exists, yeah. And she's this illusion kind of spellcaster, but from space. She's not from Faerun, and her base of operations is in the astral plane. So go figure, right? So Novell and her have a quick discussion about like, what are you doing? What's the whole point of this? And it's just like, it's in the whole grand scheme and like the meta game, right? It's kind of just me just playing around with spacey stuff. But since and I think we've been talking about this since last podcast, Spelljammer. Since I'm trying to kind of dig into Spelljammer and understand what it is, I also introduced Spelljammer that way. So pretty much I went somewhat Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, where she explained pretty much that like Faerun, that place, that material plane is not the only place that you can travel, right? You can go through, you guys as people in this world understand that there are planes that you can jump through, but there's also space you can fly to. And so I introduced Spelljammer as the chair that you attach it to whatever, and that thing can just shoot you off into space using magic.
So like if we put it on our horse cart, it'll just magically shoot the horses and the cart into space.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Because that's what I'm going to do if you're saying this is a thing.
If I even bring it into the world, but that's what I understand. I have to read more about Spelljammer. The way they make it sound is like, yes, it is literally a chair that you, due to it being magical, you just slap it onto anything, and that can just shoot into space.
Okay, cool. I'm either going to do that or a bathtub. Hope we can all fit.
So that was kind of like a tease of like, here's Spelljammer, here's what I kind of know about it. And of course, Chris being Chris in Novell, as being Novell, and her character was like, tell me more. And Talitha was just like, I'm busy, but I know the Seeker, so maybe we can discuss later. And I had to like kind of push her out because I don't have more as a DM, as a person in the real world. I don't have more on Spelljammer, but it was really just kind of like, here's a tease. Maybe we'll go that direction one of these days. Who knows? But there it is. So, but yeah, and that was the end of the session pretty much. It was the finishing of that, a little bit of teasing space and whatnot and all that good stuff. And and having Julian as a guest that day, so all of that was really fun. Sorry you missed out, man.
Yeah, I know. It sounded like a good wrap. It was a good wrap up to the whole space episode. And do you think Julian will be coming back for future
I don't know.
sessions?
I yes and no. If he has time, I think is what his response feels, because that day was, I think I asked him a couple days and it took him a while to respond, and then I was like, oh, we're having another session, and he didn't have a chance to respond, and I believe he works weekends, so
okay,
hopefully when he has time. But I knew he did enjoy it.
Good.
So
because we're hurting for party members right now, and we sure could use a few more.
Yeah, so from time to time maybe you'll have him, but
nice.
He did enjoy it. like we took our break and I was like, are you okay? Are you bored? Like you don't have to continue if you're bored. He's like, no, it's fun. It's different. It's interesting. It's fun. I'm like, good. Okay, good. That's what I like to hear, right? Like I don't want you to be bored. I don't want you to feel like you have to sit here just because everyone else is sitting here, so you have to too, right? So, but yeah, that's what happened, man. I don't know if you have any other questions. Sorry to everyone listening. It was just half an hour of me talking, really.
Yeah, I had no idea what happened. How did you say that Falion wasn't joining them? I always like those stories when someone out of game when they don't make it. In game, how you explain how the character's not there.
I don't know what I don't know. I might have not been the one who has said it. Maybe that's why. I think that we chalked it up to like you were visiting your mom or something, or helping your mom with something. So
okay.
It wasn't anything comedic. It was just like Falion went off to go help his mom.
Didn't you say like? Simple enough. I thought you said though like something about like the guacamole came up or something like that.
Was that it? Maybe know. That was it. Oh yeah, I guess you only did miss one session ever. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you decided Falion decided to eat. Oh, that was it. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was something else. Falion decided to, you decided to just keep trying more street food, and it messed with your stomach, basically.
I would have loved he had to help New Falion and his mother's side story, but no, you had to say he just couldn't resist the shitty guacamole and got sick again. Which is better. It was just, that's fine.
Yeah, so, it was one of those things where I think, I'm trying to remember, I'm remembering it more now, and it's one of those things where it was just like, by the way, where's Falion? I was like, he's eating more bad food. I don't know. Okay. So, I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Unless I was like, I don't remember the specifics. I didn't write it down. I'm just gonna be BSing at this point. But you're right. If I said that to you, that must have been it. Because I think I remember us talking about it briefly.
Yeah, so. I think you did mention that.
So yeah, whatever story you'd like. If you want him to be helping New Falion, that's fine. If you want him to have bad street food, and I do want to say I may have made it related to like fried chicken just because you were headed to Kentucky at the time, but I don't know.
Hey, maybe it was both. Maybe I was something at the town and it's like, hey, take a break from supervising the town, here's some chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh god.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, man, that's all that happened for session 9. I mean, good session. Finishing a side quest pretty much, and yeah, they ended it in a good way and opened it up to do new stuff, which we can talk about in our discussion on session 10.
The story continues.
All right, session 10. Neil, you were here for this one.
I was.
So session 10, A Flower in the Desert, is what I called this session. And we'll go by day because this session went among, 5 days in game? Yeah, day 31 to 35. So we'll start with day 31, where you guys finally decide to go main quest and look for one of the orbs in one of the towns called Dumilla, which is south of Dorakuma, heading into the desert. And what did you do? Let's see. I'm reading my notes here. Lots of shopping day 1. Get your tents, umbrellas, cold resistant potions. You order the studded leather armor with seashells. That's neat. That's
for
a specific
studs.
Order.
Yes.
Yeah, for the studs. But it'll take a whole week, but you order it anyway. And you guys research a little bit about thought. Why did you research a little bit about thought? Did someone tell you about thought? I don't remember that, why you guys did that. But anyway, that's fine. That was day 1. I don't know. Do you have any big comments on it? It's pretty straightforward and makes sense what you guys did.
The opening was mainly, like you said, just research. We asked around. Deacon in the EAA told us to get some heat-resistant armor. He also mentioned some druids, because I guess he was out there. Because I think I said, I walked into the EAA and I'm like, if you know about the Dumilla, give me a hell yeah. And then he's like, oh yeah. Right. And then Deacon's like, yeah, I was there. And I saw some, you best not get hot. So we got the resistance potions.
You best not get hot. That's exactly how he said it too.
And then we went to Kai's and he gave us a map of Dorakuma to fill out. So that I like that, because that was like, That was like real world participation right there. Just like seeing like the different districts that how you map that out. So keep those maps rolling, man. They're always good for me.
Yeah, yeah. I need to do that. I need to get on that. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are liking that map. Those maps. Shout out. You got a lot of shout outs today. Shout out to Wonder Draft because that's the program I use to make the maps.
Yeah, very cool
tool. Yeah. So that's pretty much all that happened day one. That was pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy. You ready to go into day 32 or?
Let's see.
Next day.
I tried sushi. That was.
Did you try sushi?
Yeah, because they were saying like, there's a fish shop that's gives sushi.
That's and then right. Because you didn't know about Rio's. That's right.
Right. And then you were chopping up the sushi, and you were making the sound effects to it. But so cool. Yep. And I have here naked turtle.
That's naked turtle.
That's one of my notes.
If I remember correctly, you guys were trying to figure out what you needed resistance-wise, and you discovered that Genbu basically doesn't wear a shirt, I think. I don't think he even wears pants. Maybe he just wears a loincloth. There was a discussion about that. That was kind of why. That's my only reasoning as to why you would have written that in the first place. But yeah, in this universe, turtles don't need clothes, so they're like the TMNT. They just wear a belt, I guess.
I guess. I thought he would have at least like fur on or something, like a fur vest. I don't know. But no, he's just running around with his goggles on and a loincloth, which is that's fine by me.
I hope that becomes a common theme with Brian, because that was the thing he said too, where he was like, yeah, last campaign you guys thought I was bald. This campaign you guys think I'm not naked, and I'm naked. It's like,
So yeah, I'm picturing just Conan, but in turtle form. That's about
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, he doesn't need a shirt.
That's hilarious. Yeah, pretty much. All right, I'm gonna move on to day 32.
Okay.
Since a lot of these notes are pretty quick, so day 32, you guys start your journey south. You run into two Zanko gang members.
Yeah, just hiding in like a bush, I believe. And they were just shooting at us.
Yeah, they had like a. I don't know why. Does that still work? Does the tire spikes still work? Would they work on wooden tires? They would, right? They would mess them up, or no?
If they get into the spokes, yeah, I would say that works. Yeah.
All right, because that was kind of the idea, and then I kind of realized
they're not inflated.
Yeah, they're not inflated tires, so it's not like they would.
Like no, but I think legitimately it would either mess up the spokes and thus the wheel would collapse, or the horses themselves would obviously get their legs messed up.
Yeah, leave a comment if you know how that would work.
Yeah, tell us the physics on carts and spike traps.
But yeah, that was the thing that happened that day. How'd you feel about running into the Zanko gang?
I like that they're never gone. I don't know when they're going to be gone, but I like that their presence is, like we said before, they're like essentially the mafia. They're all over the place. They're just a gang.
Like this Team Rocket crew that you guys, and then you guys can clean them up however you feel like.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the moment, just like Team Rocket, where they actually become a legitimate threat. Which who knows when that'll happen?
Right. Dun.
And I do like running into them because they're always that constant reminder of like the beginnings and how just clunky it was going through that whole first base of theirs and us trying to learn and feeling things out. And it's like, okay, keep reminding us with these Zanko gang guys. And even we didn't attack them. I think the only violent thing I did, I think I threw my trident in there and stabbed the dude.
I think you guys attacked them, but not to kill them. You guys were like, okay, arrows are flying at us. We're just going to, respond normally by showing that we're a bigger threat.
Yeah.
And then once you knock the one guy, you guys were like, can you guys not be stupid?
Yeah, I even handed him a potion. I'm just like, go home. And they did.
Yeah. And then you found it funny that they ran towards Dorakuma. Or at least the way you responded, because I was like, yep, they start running up north towards Dorakuma. Yeah, you're like, that's where their home is? I was like, yeah, man, they're just people. They're just dumb people. That's it. But yeah, so that I'm glad, actually. I like that. It's actually really nice that there's that kind of character development where you as a player, let alone your characters, feeling that like that's a reminder, and like seeing those guys is like interesting, and now we know not to just go on a murder rampage just because they are a-holes. Like,
Yeah,
that's not the point of them.
they're like a scar or a bad case of herpes. They're gone, but they come back to remind us. It's like, oh, this was bad.
Oh man. So you guys do that, and then you guys continue south, and you have to rest that night. Genbu takes first watch. Nothing interesting happens, and then you take second watch.
Yeah, and something interesting happened.
And you end up being harassed by Tidal, your demonic necklace.
Yeah, my demon chain
is forever attached to you.
For now.
For now. Ooh, okay.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
How'd you feel about that? Because that was a quick. Well, let's explain what happened. He started talking to you. You had a little chat, and then you lost control.
I was trying to fight the power, and no, he took full control. And I think you took me to Darian, who was sleeping.
you're about to kill Darian. Darian woke up. You gave him a kiss on the forehead.
Yeah, I tried to play it cool. I was like, kiss him on the head. Good night, and then we.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, man. Tell me about that.
I don't like those recurring moments. From a Phalian perspective, I don't like them. From a player's perspective, no, just do whatever you want to do.
Okay, I was like, I can stop if it's that bad.
No, you keep doing it because then it shows it's a legitimate demonic necklace.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay. That's good. Yeah. No. That's the thing too. Is like if there's anything like really like you don't like me taking control like that, like tell me because I don't want to ruin that aspect.
No, it's fine. It's like I'm the Hulk or something. Like I want that kind of.
Okay.
Because actually, let me give you a little preview about a character that I want to make in the future.
Okay.
Kind of like the same thing, like a werewolf that loses control, and that's what Phalian is right now.
All right. I get you.
So I liked it. I think how it resolved the comedic part of it was good.
Yeah.
And we'll see where the necklace goes from there. And goddamn, I need to find a way to get rid of this thing.
And I really do like the necklace. I'm doing my best again not to control you as a player. I think that's why it was kind of like, oh, okay, do your wisdom save because that's gonna be if you can even control yourself. And if you can't, you fail it, right? But I won't force you to, like, kill your party members. I think depending on how, unless you rolled maybe a nat 1, right?
Yeah, then
maybe you would have, like, sliced them.
Bit consequence, yeah.
But, I don't know, yeah. I'm glad you like it, though, from a player's perspective, then.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, as long as you do it in those, like, role-playing moments, not like, okay, we're in the middle of a boss fight. Okay, I roll to heal with a potion, but wait, the necklace turns on.
Yeah, let me inconvenience you. Perfect time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Maybe once in a while, but no, not every time. That would suck. Yeah, and I think it's, we're close friends, so it's definitely one of those things where it's like, if I think I would hate it, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like it either.
I mean, okay, I think the only stipulation would be you have a 1d100 on you. And then so like you roll it after every action I do. And if I land on like 10, 1 through 10, that's when
1 through 10, the 10%. Yeah. I got you. That's fair. All right. I'll think about implementing that.
Okay.
Well, we'll get there, but I don't think at this point he's powerful enough to start fighting. And I guess that's the other thing too, is like the way the way I like doing things, there's a natural progression. So, I mean, he's been on you for like 10 days or so, but there's still a small struggle and you're still in control. So, but he's slowly, trying to control you.
Yeah, it's the one ring. It's trying to seduce me.
So I think there will be this kind of natural progression where maybe that rolling thing will be implemented where you all of a sudden lose control or you drop your potion. I don't know. That'll be something interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
I haven't thought of. So that night happens, day 33 happens, and you guys arrive at the Temple of Thought.
Which, by the way, what's the spelling on this?
Thoth.
Okay, I kept thinking you were saying thought, like that hole over there.
That hole over there.
So I kept snickering
with an
to myself.
H at the end of it.
Yeah, that hole over there.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, we got to the temple. We met Spiro and Antith.
Yes, I believe. Spiro and Antith, that's right. Darian reads about Free Willy too.
Yes! He was so into that, and I was like laughing to myself too.
Genbu looks through a geography book, I think because supposedly the turtle he's looking for also looked through that book. And Novell reads about thoughts and helps perform a ritual. And it was just a little quick stop to the Temple of Thoughts. So any thoughts about that one? God, I'm turning into Brian.
I was thinking Egyptian theme for the temple. Would you describe it as such?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so that's all I was thinking. I was thinking like, the Mummy, Scorpion King type temple. There's, sand everywhere. You walk in, there's like just like bricks for the floor, and there's more sand on everything, on the books, on the shelves.
Yep.
So that was really cool. And Thoth, just meeting another, I would say, deity, major deity.
Yeah.
Just being able to have more of the lore and the religion side of things, that was pretty cool. Because it shows just the more south you go, it's like, okay, we're not in Dorikuma anymore. We're in this new area. Right. So that made it more alive. Just the scenery, the temple, them talking about the sandworm that's like trying to threaten their temple. That was really cool. So, and
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and just once again, just making that whole area just so detailed and have its own characteristics versus where we just were.
So let me ask you this: you don't remember the Temple of Thought then before this campaign?
I do, because you mentioned the Scorpion machine.
Okay. All
so
right.
Is this the same temple?
Yeah, maybe.
See, I thought this was like just a when you say temple, it's like, okay, here's a ziggurat in the middle of the
general temple.
Yeah, I didn't know it was the temple that 500 years ago or whatever. Where something happened.
That's the thing this is the is it a spoiler? It's fine. I can tell you. It'll be implemented. It won't be. It'll just be like a little like Easter egg cameo thing. But Thought Antif, the name specifically, is the same as the one in the adventure you guys did a while back. So make that as you will. I guess it'll reveal itself later. But yeah, it may or may not be the same one, but the name is the same.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like I keep saying, the comparison. Is this the church of God, who's the thunder god?
Zeus?
No, in our previous campaign.
Oh, the thunder
Hieronius?
God? Oh, Hieronius, yeah.
Yeah, so like that church of Hieronius was the one that we made, but then there could be other churches of Hieronius everywhere else. So that was my thing, because like I don't remember a library in the first one.
No,
like in the first
very
temple
true.
of Thoth.
No, you're that's very true. You're right. No worries. I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
So yeah, I thought it was just something different, a different one.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool, man. No, that's interesting to know and something to keep on a piece of paper for me. But anyway, anything else on the Temple of Thought and your guys' halfway point at this to Demilla? Which at this point, for those who kind of need a visual, you guys were leaving the grassy plains of Dorikuma and heading into the desert at this point. So yeah, there's to what you were saying, there's this whole kind of scenery change and area change and everything.
Yep. And as we kept going south, I think it was getting more nighttime-ish, and then we got to the Oasis, I believe.
I think you stayed at the Temple of Thought, and then the next day you started
then we went to the
south.
Oasis.
Yeah. And that leads into day 34, where you head to the Oasis, and there's a tent there. There's a campfire there, all that good stuff, and a giant rock that I think Genbu sits on. Someone sat on it and it throws it off of it, and a fight begins between this rock elemental, and you guys. And should we continue, or you want to talk about that first?
The rock. No, I think we should continue, because I don't think the fight went on. Like, I don't even think the fight developed, because all of a sudden these druids appeared.
It started. The fight began, and then this flower started budding behind Darian.
Yep.
As he was the furthest away, and these three druids appeared, which are known as Achillea, Foley, and Aster. Which, the reason why, at least for me, this is a fun thing is because those are previous characters from the last campaign.
Yep.
Specifically Chris's character is Achilea, but those two other gentlemen are her fathers. So pretty much this whole scene is more of an Easter egg cameo rather than, an insane battle. They didn't want to fight you. They were more worried about someone attacking their rock, and you guys ended up talking with them real quick about like what the heck is going on. So by all means, man, how'd you feel about that whole scene?
That was a good callback, good cameo by Achilea. And I didn't want to fight a giant rock creature because that's gonna go south. He's just gonna maybe Turtle Man could have taken him, but I know I couldn't have.
Let alone 3 more druids who were on the side of the rock creature.
Exactly, yeah. And they were really nice. Man. They're very eccentric characters, at least how you were playing them as, or doing the voices of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tried to keep them the same as before. I mean, it's only been 5 years, right? So, they followed the story that we kind of wrote up for, or was it a we? I think it was we that we kind of wrote up for them. That where Achilea wanted to go to the desert to learn about her druidic circle. Yeah, I think it was her circle. And her circle was desert. So I wrote up a desert, and I was like, this would be perfect to bring Achilea in. So boom, boom, boom. Everything works out well.
Nice. So, and they wanted to protect the desert. And one of the conflict things that popped in my head was, I think, if I recall correctly, the Spiro and Antith, they were complaining about the worm creature in the desert, while the druids and Achilea, they wanted to protect it because, they're all about nature and all that.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, conflict. How will this resolve? We'll see later.
Exactly. Yeah. That's again, it goes back to kind of my theme of it all is just like, here's the thing, one person wants it dead, these other people don't want it dead, and of course the main characters, what do you guys want to do about it?
I'm just picturing the scene from SpongeBob with the Alaskan bullworm, and we just like try to get it off a cliff or something. I don't know. Just move it. No, I think my plan was to move it, but we didn't get that. It
killed itself. Wasn't that a scene that Patrick was like, what if we... Oh, no, it was like, what if we take the city and move it?
Yeah, let's move the temple. Let's do that.
Right? So, yeah, no, that's great. And yeah, I'm glad that you like how the characters are being portrayed. Hope it's true to form.
It is.
I know it's not your character, but hope it's true to form.
No, it's how I exactly remember them being.
Gotcha. No, that's great to hear, man. And I like that. I don't know. Well, here's a question for you, because I kind of wanted to play that out a bit differently. I actually wanted. Well, that's the thing though. My brain was like, after the whole game, I was like, I kind of wanted them to have fought you just to see what would have happened.
Whoa, that was weird. Are they peaceful? Are they
that's
peaceful
the thing.
Things?
That's the thing. They're peaceful. Like Achilea wouldn't bother. Like, you know what I mean? Her issue would have been more with Rocky, that like her elemental's getting attacked. Like, she would have defended it if anything, but like she was, the scene that I created was like her trying to prove to her dad that like, see, there's something happening. Believe me, we're here. And then both Aster, the Furbolg is just so relaxed that he's just like, okay.
I can't fight this dude. I just wanted to hug him.
And then Foley, her elfin dad, I believe he's an elf. He was, he's more astute. Is that the correct word? He's not gonna attack first. He's gonna ask first, if anything.
Yes.
That was just how those characters existed in the first place. And his whole thing, that whole quest that you guys did, he was in a freaking town to like protect them. Like, he was trying to figure out what was going on there, and he's just not one to like. None of them are one to rush into battle, I think is my point to that. So.
No, that's us.
Exactly. But yeah, I was curious. I was like, man, I kind of wish I had them attack you just to see if you guys would have diffused the situation, because I kind of diffused the situation.
Could you have played them like attack, but in like a defensive, like reserved manner? Like, that fight to knock out or just to ward us off?
Yeah, I think that's what I probably would have done, where Achilea may have attacked because Rocky's getting attacked, and then the other two were kind of just entangling. I wanted them to kind of entangle you guys.
Yeah.
That was my other plan, to just hold you guys and start asking questions of like, all right, evil people, what are you doing? Like, you guys are evil to them because you're attacking their elemental. Like, you're attacking their campground, essentially, what it looks like, right? From their perspective. Like, what's the deal?
Mm-hmm.
Let alone, I made the scene also be like, Rocky was protecting their treasure. So, if you're attacking their elemental, it looks like you guys are trying to steal their stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, and that was like their supplies, right? That he was on
Yeah,
top
their
of.
supplies. Yeah, exactly. His whole that whole elemental rock elemental was really a guard of their stuff and their campground. So
Pretty much.
But yeah, that was that scene. Little cameo from the Achillea family, and you guys stayed there that night. So
yeah, they fed us a bit. They gave us some cool blankets that kept us warm.
That's right.
Which we'll be discussing in a few minutes.
Yeah. So all these kind of like throwbacks to our first campaign, and hopefully them making sense and not being forced, at least from my perspective. Like, everything is naturally where it would be, right?
Right.
Continuity speaking.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what happened, and now we can dive into day 35, which is kind of the meat of our session, of this session, I would say. Go ahead.
It is. I was going to say, I don't think we mentioned this fact regarding the desert, because I think we learned this fact before entering it, but there's apparently a giant blizzard that's happening in the desert.
Right, yep. That's actually a good thing to bring up. So the mystery of Dumilla, on top of an orb, the keys that they're looking for being there, a blizzard is like dead in the center on Dumilla, which kind of adds this whole mysterious, like, what is happening in that city and why does no one care to really fix that? Or
I thought it was a magical thing. I thought it was like magical air conditioning and they're fine.
Magical air conditioning?
No, they're not fine.
So yeah, that's actually a perfect transition because, to your point, you guys were prepping for the heat of the desert. The desert's dangerous to be in there more than 3 days without proper heat protection. But the closer you get to Dumilla, it becomes this cold blizzard where now you need cold protection, like resistance from cold and the cold weather, which that's not a D&D thing, but, whatever. D&D, we can make it a thing. So you have to protect yourselves from the cold as well. So you stay that night. You guys went to Dumilla, where you went from extreme heat to extreme cold, and you got there by night, and you found the tavern, and there was a blue-skinned human named Sarah who was manning the tavern. Let me see. I'm trying to remember what happened this night. I think that was the night. So we'll start there. How'd you feel about meeting Sarah, his blue skin as a human, and I think even discovering that one of the tavern rooms had a busted hole in the roof.
Yeah,
like huge busted hole.
I think overall, just like when you were describing the town and all the buildings and all the shops, like I think everything was just busted down and like rickety, and it was like like you said, there's like a hole in the roof and like the sign, like half of it fell off, and yeah, just entering it and then just seeing the blue person. Dude, I think someone made the comment, I don't know if it was me or someone else, but like it was like The Shining. It was like, okay, this place is clearly like a ghost, like a literal ghost town, because I think we were trying to shake people's hands or like hand them items and they would just like phase through them.
Yep.
And they would pretend that everything was all right. It was like, oh, and we was like, oh, the weather's kind of weird recently, huh? It's like, oh, what do you mean? It's like, the blizzard.
Yeah.
Oh, what
it's like,
blizzard?
Oh, yeah, it's so hot. Yeah, it's usually, or it's cooled down. It's so strange. Like, it's completely not the reality you guys are seeing. But yeah, so you stayed the night because you guys made it through finally, and it was really the only thing to do. And the next morning happens, and you see villagers go to the temple, a temple rather.
I thought it was a cult. I thought
they're all these, and they're all blue skinned. That was kind of the key detail I keep mentioning, is that they're all blue skinned. They go to this church. It's a Sunday, and you guys meet a blue tiefling girl named Violet.
Who's blue?
And who's blue? Who's blue? Who you mentioned? She's blue, and she goes, "I'm Violet." No, what are you talking about?
By the way, rest in peace. The actress who played Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That did happen. Rest in peace.
Violet, you're turning violet, but she's blue.
Yeah, so Violet is, at least she greets herself as the
kind of like the tour guide.
The tour guide, the town tour guide, the town greeter. And she gives you guys a rundown of Dumilla. There's a farm, there's a temple, the general store, the tavern. It's like a small town in the desert. But the biggest thing, or rather the weirdest thing, they also have a vault.
A giant like doomsday bunker.
A specific doomsday bunker, which she points out. But of course, oddly enough, that vault is locked and you cannot enter it. She wants to enter it as it holds secrets.
So do we.
Dumilla.
And we're like, where's the key?
Yeah. And she goes, well, it's in the oasis in the desert.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And this is where things get weird because it doesn't get, from my perspective, it gets super weird because you guys decide to split the party, and me knowing what you guys are going to find at the oasis, I'm like, that's a terrible idea, but you guys are smart.
No, okay.
You'll go back.
We're smart but inexperienced.
Yes, that's a fair way to put it. No, that's very true. Because inexperienced in the way that this is written very differently than our last campaign. So you guys split the party. Genbu and Falion will get the orbs themselves, and I get it. I understand where you guys are coming from. You think that the orb is just, or the key. I should reference it as a key. The key is at the bottom of the lake, of the oasis.
Yeah, we thought, okay, we just gotta swim down, touch some sand, pull it up, go back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's fair. That's understandable. I wasn't thinking that way, so I was like, I didn't give you guys any hints at all. I was like, cool. All right, that's fine. Let's split the party. I'm not gonna say anything. And you guys split the party. So Genbu and Falion head back to the oasis. The Achilea family is not there. Oh, and you, guess to get a little specific, you try to use the Achilea seed that Foley gave you.
Yes.
Which is, his explanation was that it was a way to call them so that they can transport you across the desert.
Yeah, we didn't. What you didn't realize,
what you didn't realize is that it does take some time to grow,
because it's a plant. Go figure.
As some, even though it's a magical plant, it still takes some time.
It's like, so damn it, where's my apple tree?
Yeah, you guys were just like, okay, this was useless, and you
we start walking.
That's fine. And there you guys find Rocky. It doesn't speak and understand common at all, and it basically, you guys have to play charades with it as you guys finally figure some stuff out. You guys get into the oasis. You find this tunnel that leads deeper into the oasis, and you guys go there. You discover that there's a huge thing that happens between that and the cave.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna mention. I had a question, and it was, how long can I hold my breath?
Yeah. Yep.
And apparently it's not very long.
Not very long. Genbu, being a turtle, has the ability to breathe underwater as he's an amphibious.
And Falion, being a stupid human, thought he could do the same.
Yeah. So
I'm the sea prince. I should know how to swim.
Yeah. You know how to swim. It doesn't mean you know what? Yeah, you can't breathe. So you guys go ahead and swim under it. That's fine. And I'll be honest, from the DM's perspective, let's make the tunnel interesting, right? So let's have a little seaweed that you guys get caught in. It'll be fun. And you do. And then you end up drowning.
You're right. And, love Brian to death. He made such a valiant effort to bring me. He took my body, tried to swim faster. But my rolls weren't working that day because I got a fail and then a nat 1 to
you got a success. Well, first off, you did get a success.
Oh, so did I? I didn't remember that.
You got a 17 and not all look crazy dim. Then you rolled a fail, an 8, and then you rolled a natural 1. And even, I don't know if you noticed, because you were there physically that day, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it, but I was like
yeah, you were just you were staring. Yeah, you froze. So you froze. I'm like, okay, what's he gonna say? You didn't say anything for like a good 2 minutes.
I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I didn't expect you to die to seaweed and water. As you are the sea prince.
I am, but I think my ass has to just stay on a boat and not in the water. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, man, and you died. You
Right, and I thought it was
died.
over, but then apparently my necklace brings me back to undead life.
Does it? I mean,
I don't know.
Tidal took over your body, man, and Genbu and your possessed body got into a fight.
Yes, and while he was doing that, inside my mind, I was fighting.
Right. It was like you were trapped in your own mind. So I mean, by all means, take over, man. How did you feel about any of that? All of that, everything that happened?
It was unexpected. First and foremost, unexpected. I thought okay, let me get the character sheet out, let me make a new guy. No. No, you're gonna drag out the necklace. He's gonna come out and try to kill my adopted turtle brother while I have to watch from within my mind.
Yep.
And it was cool. It was scary.
Yep.
But it was cool. And I don't think Brian wanted to hurt me. So I didn't know if he was holding back or if he really was trying to kill me.
I think from both Brian and Gendu's perspective, like if anything, you were alive, right? Your body is alive.
Yeah.
So it was a matter of like, do I fight and kill kill, knock out whatever, in hopes that Falion is still alive, or am I just killing? And I think Brian got to a point where he was like, you're dead already. I gotta fight you at this point. And I think he was going to fight you. And then that's when I think Falion, and I'm trying to kind of remember it because a lot happened that transpired in this one scene. Falion, you were able to fight off Tidal in your mind space.
Yeah, I think you asked me like, okay, so look into your inventory, grab what item do you grab to fight off,
right,
the spectral smoke, whatever. And right. I think I pulled the holy water and I smashed him in the head with the holy water.
That's right. And in the what's the real world? In the D&D real world, not the Mindscape, Falion I think ended up passing out again.
Yeah.
And I did write that quote from Genbu, which I thought was a fantastic quote, because Genbu, all at the same time, you knocked out Tidal, you regained control of your body, and Genbu also tackled your body, rendering you unconscious again. So like all this stuff transpired at once.
At one single moment.
And Genbu, or rather Brian, said, "Am I waking up a demon or my friend?" And I was like, holy crap, like this is getting so real. And he wasn't sure whether to give you that potion or not. I was like, this is crazy. And he gave you the potion, and Falion woke up. You woke up.
Yep.
You were alive. This necklace seemed to have kept you alive, if anything.
Thankfully, I guess.
Yeah. And you guys shrugged it off. I mean, it was a thing that happened. You didn't talk about it after that, and you continued through the dungeon.
Yeah, it's like, let's get this key.
Yeah.
I just want to get back to the party.
Yep. That was an amazing scene. At least from my perspective, I loved it. I was like, wow. And that's again, learning point for everyone, guys. D&D, man, like the dice does its things, and scenes like this happen. It's crazy. It's fun. Pick up the starter set. Now $20 at your local Walmart. But yeah, you guys do that wonderful scene. You continue through the rest of this cave, this tunnel, this dungeon, whatever you want to call it. You find this room, which is a freezing cold room with an ice wall impeding the exit way across the way. You guys knock a hole in the ice, and as you kind of go through, it starts rebuilding itself slowly. You find another room that contains 3 orbs on a pedestal. Orbs as in they look like the keys. I really shouldn't have used the word orbs. I probably should have just made them keys. But they're 3 keys that are sitting there, and you take the one where a body is kind of touching it, and you also take the stuff from its knapsack as well, the body's knapsack.
And I took a journal because apparently this person is from the village of Dumilla, who unfortunately fell when trying to get apparently what we're getting.
Right. Yeah, and what else happens? Yeah, you take that one, you head out. Rocky has followed you guys. Sadly, he didn't make it when you were drowning. But offers to basically become a submarine for you guys.
Yes, you entered his chest. It was great.
Yeah, you guys enter his chest. You make it back out, and on your way out, the key that you have starts lighting up and ticking. I don't know the words I use exactly, but it blew up. It shot you guys out of Rocky's body. Rocky's arm fell out.
Yeah, he's in pieces. No.
Yeah, so, yeah, man, how'd you feel about all that? Like, that kind of... And I felt, personally, at least thinking about it now, I felt it was a little bit rushed, maybe because it was the end of the session. But anyway, regardless, what was your thoughts on it?
It was just a tease pullback scenario. You know, obviously we thought, we got it. Guess what? No, you didn't. Get your ass back in there.
Right, yeah.
And so it was like really feeling defeat because it's like, okay, we have to go through that again. We have to chip at the ice wall again.
Right.
But luckily, I think, like you said, it was the end of the session and you were kind of pushing us. Well, I think we just came to the conclusion at that point, okay, we need everybody here.
Yeah.
And I think at that point in the story, the flower seed that we planted already bloomed, and Achillia and Fathers brought the Novell and Darian through the flower to us. Right. Which, by the way, did you want to talk about what they were doing while we were dying and getting hurt?
They weren't doing much. I forgot to mention the one thing. Oh, dang it. Novell also got like a cape from the Starseer trials as well as like a reward for doing those trials.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so pretty much I let her have that attuned because they were not doing anything.
Yeah, they were just sitting around in a ghost town
and I was just asking if they wanted to do anything, and they just explored and read some stuff, but nothing crazy transpired pretty much. So yeah, and I did railroad them a little bit. I brought them back to the Oasis. I personally believe that wasn't a terrible railroad, just because if anything, you guys were going to go back to DeMille.
Yeah, well, no, we needed them. So
you're going to pick them up.
You fast-traveled them.
Exactly. It was like, I don't think anyone was against that, but I was like, it's going to happen, right? Can we just skip it? Yeah, I mean, that's all they were doing, so nothing too crazy that I can think of. But, yeah. And that was the end of that session, man. Like, I don't know, if anything else, anything specific you want to dive deep into.
Just like the specific details I especially like the description of when you get to that median point between hot and cold, how you're describing it is like, okay, you know, it's just like the winds are just whipping because on one side it's just the extreme heat, but then right there, just right in front of your face is just ice.
Right.
A blizzard.
Yeah. Strange.
So that was cool.
It's supposed to feel strange. Something you would never feel.
No, it was just very surreal. So I like that. The town was very cool because of all the different people in there. Like I said, it was like The Shining. It was like, are these people real? Are they not? Right. I'm still trying to figure out if they are. I feel like they were alive at one point, but now they're just lingering spirits.
Sure.
And I just wanted to know what's at the bottom of that vault, which in session 11, we did get to go into the vault.
Yeah, which is a perfect transition, so let's jump into that. Welcome back, everybody. It was like a 5-second break, so I don't know why I'm welcoming you back. But anyway, session 11. I didn't have a chance to title this, but I will title this The Vault. So spoilers, they get the key. But the question is how you guys get the key. So the day begins where you guys re-enter the Oasis with your whole party. Actually, a thing I want to point out is I think Genbu says that you died.
Yeah,
he thinks that you died.
He explains
and you
the
kind
situation.
of dance around it, right? Yeah, and you kind of dance around it. Did you mean to do that in character, or was that really just kind of you just didn't want to talk about it in like player wise?
I think.
Or were you just focused on getting the key?
I think I was just focused on getting the key, and gotcha. I think it was just Valiant being in shock, so he didn't want to talk about it.
Okay. No, that's fair. Yeah, I was just curious. So yeah, you guys have a little morning, nice breakfast as Aster the Furbolg is making some delicious food for you guys. The Achillia family is kind of attending to stuff, and you guys decide to dive back into the Oasis.
That's right.
You go through the same rooms.
Can I mention a couple facts?
Yeah, go for it.
So one, they made a magic snorkel for us, so I didn't drown.
That's right. Achillia makes a magic snorkel.
and then Turtle Man was on drugs for like a good half of the session.
Why was he on drugs?
Because you said there was like some plant or
Oh,
something,
he
like
drank
the cactus juice. And so
That's right.
Brian's great when he does this kind of stuff where he was just playing like he was on speed or something.
Yep.
For like I said, the first half of the session. So that was great.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. He drank it and he cannonballed into the oasis.
Yeah.
You're right. That is something that happened. Yep. Yeah, so he kind of led the way this time, if anything. And we haven't mentioned it, but the whole reason why you guys kind of ended up picking Dumilla in the first place is Genbu is looking for his brother, and there have been a lot of hints saying that his brother has gone south.
Yep.
So he is trying to follow his brother's trail. So it is very neat that Genbu kind of has that leading aspect right now to lead this party of like, we gotta find my brother. I'm in. So yeah, you guys follow him, you follow suit, you get your snorkeling breathing magic imbued in you guys so you can breathe underwater. You don't have to worry about drowning, and you make it past all the rooms, and you end up in the room where the 3 keys, which are now 2 keys since one was taken from you guys, you guys took it rather. The 2 keys are there. So I forgot what happens. I forgot what order they happen in. I know you grab 1 key, and that causes 2 of the ice statues to come to life, and you have to fight those.
Right, because I think it was Novell who did research as usual, and she was telling us, okay, the proper key has a D on it, and we were like, okay, right. Is it a lowercase d or an uppercase D?
Right.
Regardless, the one we pulled initiated that ice statue fight.
Yep. And I forgot what happened to the 3rd one. Do you remember what happened to the 3rd one?
The 3rd key?
The 3rd key, yeah.
Not counting the one that exploded?
Not counting the one that exploded. There's one that exploded, there's one that brought the statues to life.
Right, and then I believe after we fought the ice statues, we took the 3rd key and the room rebuilt itself? That's what I wrote down.
I remember it now. I think you took... The order was the exploding key, and then the 2nd key, which what happened was an Arctic blizzard exploded, causing cold damage to you guys. That's what happened.
Okay. And
then you took the 3rd key, which I don't remember the order anymore. But yeah, the ice statues came to life, and then after all the keys got destroyed, the room started rebuilding itself.
Oh yeah, that's it. And it's like, okay, let's try again. It's like, oh
yeah,
great.
And I did give you guys a little hint of like, you notice the fissure is like liftable, and that's where it wasn't really a hint. I think Falion was kind of trying to. You were like, can we do anything with a fissure? Like, how big is a fissure? Is it something I could stick my hand in? Blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, it's like a panel you can lift up, and you lifted it up, and that's where you found the actual key.
Yeah,
you had to go deeper.
I think you said there was a spike pit underneath.
Yeah, there was a spike. Yeah, that's right. Okay, now I'm remembering it all. There's a spike pit there. There was a banner with a D on it and a key, another pedestal with a key on it. I don't remember. Oh, I think, did you jump down? Who jumped down there?
I did, because me and Brandon were just so happy because I said the keyword, can I climb down? And then he's like, climbing hook?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you hopped down there first. Oh, and you did the Indiana Jones switching the key for
always
something
gotta try
else.
that move, just in case.
Which, once you did that, the sand around you started forming into another sand golem.
Oh, I wrote down salt golem. I must have
salt golem. You're right.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a salt golem.
Okay, that's like
I wrote down sand golem.
I really must have misheard you if it was.
No, you're right. It is salt. It was salt golem.
Okay.
And and another fight transpired with that. And so let me ask you this: the difference between the rooms you were previously in and then this one room, there was just nothing. There was no ice, no nothing, just sand. Right? Was there any thoughts about those 2 rooms, or like the way?
Just the contrast?
The contrast, and I think I did say, like, it seems that the room was built on top of this room. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't, but that is another detail that I meant to say.
Well, I just thought it was, like, eerie that, okay, we're still in the desert, but there's, like, the icicles everywhere. So I thought it was just going back to like thought or Dumilla itself, because it was just that whole like sand desert theme. So I'm like, okay, this is the time before, so to speak.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just curious your thoughts on
that. But how did ice cavern appear above it with 4 icicles with dead bodies in it? How'd that happen? Who knows?
Right. But yeah, I'm just curious your thoughts on that. And you fought the sand golem. You got the key. You found the room, the council room. That had a couple of history of Dumilla. Yeah. Any comments on that? I don't know.
I wrote down that, from my understanding, from somebody reading documents, this was like the elders' secret room. So the elders from Dumilla, somehow, I'm assuming in the past, they would leave the town, go to this oasis, go to this underground secret lair of theirs to plan and conspire. I don't know if it's good or bad, but all the secret shit, it happens here. So
it's like what's that movie? The Village.
Something? Yeah, all the elders come here, and it turns out we're not in the Sword Coast or Dorakuma or wherever. We're actually in Pennsylvania, in some weirdest part of Pennsylvania, and there's plains everywhere.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so you guys do that. You find another exit way rather, that leads into this temple that's all dusty. And you find out it's just sitting across the oasis. It's completely on the other side of where you guys entered.
Which, by the way, I really wanted to talk to you about this. Because it's like that design, the fact that you go under, but then you pop out, I want to say like a mile or two away from the entrance. It just reminded me of playing like Skyrim, where you didn't know where the exit to a dungeon was. But then you felt stupid after you went through a whole dungeon. You're outside and you look and like, oh, the entrance was like 2 feet in front of me. Like, if we did sleuthing, could we have possibly like gone through the back end?
Yes. I in my head the oasis was fairly large, but I mean, there's nothing really stopping you guys from being like, can we walk around the oasis? And yeah, if you found that entryway, it wouldn't have been easy because. And I can tell you this now because you came from the, I guess from direction A rather than the back door, which it literally was technically the back door, right? What I had set up was that it was actually guarded by magic, so it would have been really hard to have entered from the back door.
Oh, was that the?
But
go
ahead.
I don't know. This is like a lore story question, so maybe this should be revealed in game. But was that like the elders' way in? That's what I'm thinking right now.
We'll let it reveal itself in game.
Okay.
But for the sake of metagame, it was another option that you guys could have entered from. It just was the harder option.
Yeah.
Which, now that you know how that dungeon works, you basically would have skipped every fight and puzzle that was to be there, except for the salt golem. That's the only thing you would have fought. So it rewards you to explore. It'll reward you to, sneak in through the back. And yeah, it was an option. So just wasn't an obvious option. That's all.
It never is. Like I said, it's always hindsight with that kind of design to a dungeon.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad you liked it. I think that means you liked it, right?
No, yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's just the simplest answer. I don't know. I'm fucking up the saying right now. But just the fact that the exit was just so simply, we could have found it, but we didn't.
It's just on the other side. Yeah. You just didn't explore.
Yeah,
which is fair.
No, but that was good.
And it was meant to be that way, right? Like Violet said, it was in the oasis. It was in the lake. So you're gonna go in the lake. You're not gonna not go in the lake for what you're looking for. So you're like, okay, we'll get the key where someone told us the key was. Why would you go all the way back to Dorakuma for the key? No, it makes perfect sense, and I get you. So, nice. No, that's cool. I'm glad you liked it. Definitely, honestly, not my intention. I just thought it would just be interesting. Well, to your point, there's lore to it, right? There's reason why it's built that way. There's reason why things are like that, and again, you can look for it, unlock it, kind of do all that stuff. in game. We'll let it reveal itself in game because you don't have all the information.
No, we don't.
Want to tell
we have
you
to figure it out. We got
really
read
done
the
with
books.
Dumilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add.
Go ahead.
The sun the sun altar that was down there as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the exit way. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That was freaky. I thought it was like you got sacrificed somewhere. So there's a good harvest. I don't know.
Right. And
I think actually when you said sun altar, that's why I thought the elders were kind of up to something.
We're kind of what? You got cut off.
Oh, so we're kind of up to some nefarious deeds.
I got you. Yeah, man. Do we gotta play more D&D?
Yep.
But beside all that, you guys ended that place. The key didn't explode on you. The key didn't do anything bad.
Thankfully.
It stayed the way it stayed. And you guys went back to Dumilla, I believe.
Yes.
And you returned Key's journal back to his wife and his son.
And the freakiest thing happened.
What happened?
Like, they were getting headaches.
That's right. Ko always cries, and both of them passed out when you explained kind of what it was. Yeah. And you walked away from it. You didn't open the journal. You didn't do anything. You left it there.
Yeah, out of respect, I just put it on the table, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised you did that. And I'm also don't change anything. Well, you can if you want to, but like I'm kind of like, damn, I kind of wish he opened that damn thing.
I thought I read it before though. I thought I opened it and I read it.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, did I give you all the information that was in it?
I don't think so. I just know there was like...
I need to pass that information off to you. Actually, let's take a quick break so I can send all that information off to you.
Okay.
Or actually, you know what? We'll bring it in next session. How about that?
Okay, that works.
There's a lot of information. I didn't realize you actually read it.
Because you did mention... That's how we made the connection that this person... that was his family. Because they talked about the kids, special ball... And how he needed.
What did you? No, you read the letter.
Oh.
He had a letter on him. You didn't read the journal.
Oh, I thought that was okay.
So no, that's good. That's a good clarification. Not up to you, man.
I don't know. I'll just leave how we are.
Oh well, I mean, like, did you read it? Did you think is that what you meant when you read it? Because I thought you read the letter.
Oh,
So he had two things. He had a letter and a journal.
Oh, I didn't know. I gotta remember the moment, but I thought I read. I read something. I don't remember what I specifically read, but I know that's the details that you told us.
Gotcha.
To make a connection that this was the family.
Right. I gave you the notes to the letter, but I don't remember you reading the journal. And again, that's something. Think about it. If that's what information you want, or if that's what Fallion did, that's fine. It's up to you. Anyway, hopefully we can discuss that later, or I can tell you about it later. But yeah, that was the end of that day. So you guys finished that temple up, that dungeon, and you stayed in your weird open roofed tavern room. I don't know. Did you have any other notes about that dungeon, other than what you've given, Skyrim-y stuff and everything?
No, that was about it. I know the salt golem. Every time I fight a golem, I always I got knocked down a bit. This is just my own criticism. This isn't even regarding to the dungeon, but just my own character right now. He just gets knocked around. I got to change it. I got to change something.
I feel like that's. Well, I feel like you're always front and center though. That might be why you and Genbu are always front and center, while the other two are back. And now that it's being like a 4-people party, the fact that you guys are kind of in front, you guys are always getting hit. So
yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's a thing to look at.
You
are getting new armor too, so.
Yeah, in like 2 days?
In 2 days, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
You'll probably, I don't know. In 2 days, yeah, you're right. So it'll get there. It'll get stronger. That's what Fallion, I feel like, has always been though. Like you made him into he gets beat down and always gets back up kind of character.
And sometimes, but not by his own accord.
Yeah. Dude, you're freaking Captain America right now. Like, I can do this all day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially since you have, like, freaking fighting spirit and everything.
Oh, dude, I can't wait till I get stronger, because there's an ability where if I do hit, 0 HP, I get, an extra turn. Like I have it's like Last Stand. It's fucking crazy.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's
but yeah, not yet.
this character though. Oh man, so that's great. I'm excited for that. So let's dive into day 37, where you guys enter the vault
with Violet. She's very adamant of going with us.
She was waiting for you guys. She's ready to go. She's ready to learn. And I feel like her and Novell are close, as they both are.
Yeah, the learning inquisitive types, which is great. And I thought it was odd that she was able to touch the orb, because I was like, I don't know. I think
it's getting weird, right? Like some people can touch certain items, right, and some cannot, and it's very. What's the deal
are
here?
You real or not? I just don't know, but I took her into the vault with us because she said please.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised you guys did do that. Where I feel like most of the time you guys are like, no, let's leave the NPCs out of it, but you're like, sure, whatever. I don't know. There wasn't too much like backlash on it, I guess, if that makes sense.
No, not really. I mean, what's the worst she can do? Like pretend to touch us and not. It's like that was my reasoning, at least. It's like, okay, you can't physically harm us. I don't think there's possession from her.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We'll find out, right?
I'm scared.
So yeah.
But you guys dive in and you find this self-sustaining. Well, first off, the vault closes itself and locks itself, but you do get the key.
Yeah. How did you describe how it came through? I thought that was like the coolest thing. Just like
how did I describe how it came through?
I don't know. It just like
the door closed itself, it locked, and then it like kind of like phased through the keyhole and back out and into whoever is the person that did. I think it was you. Was it you?
I think it's because I held on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, like phased back into your hand out, like this magical kind of like trail fell into your hand, and you got the key back just in case you needed to leave the vault rather. So. And as you guys turn around, you found this. You got the key back. The door was locked safely behind you, and you found this self-sustaining vegetable farm
with a false sun and everything.
False sun. This floating pot, watering pot, right? That's what they're called. Watering pot. Some sprinklers. Like it was a lot. It was alive,
and it was all magic based. Like nothing was like. Technology, if that's the right term to use in a fantasy setting.
What you guys were able exactly from what you can tell, most of it was like magic, like a magical sprinkler and the false magical sun, whatever you want to consider it. And you guys, I think Genbu got excited as there was, there's vegetables, and that's all he eats is vegetables, and
I fed him some lettuce.
You fed him some lettuce, a la the first session where you that was how you guys met. And you guys met, oh my gosh, I didn't write his name down.
Suna.
Yeah, Suna, thank you. You met Suna.
He was so cool. Was he transparent?
He was very somewhat transparent, ethereal, kind of like, not like the villagers, but more of like a Jarvis-y.
Yeah, like a hologrammy.
Hologram robot kind of thing, yeah, so.
I was picturing the butler from Fresh Prince, but a hologram. What was the name? Joffrey?
Yeah.
I was just picturing Joffrey because he was so nice.
That's amazing. But yeah, and he helped you guys. It helped you guys, whatever gender you want to give him. And it was just like, yeah, I'm here to serve you, whatever you guys need. And the most interesting you guys found was the potion room, where Genbu went into it. And Suna was like, "Oh yes, the potions you ordered."
And it's like, wait,
like, what?
And then we were putting two together.
Yeah,
there's another turtle man going around here.
Yeah. Which at that point, what were you thinking? Like, what was the whole how was that whole situation in general? Just finding the self-sustaining farm, meeting the ethereal butler that's still there and taking care of it, and then the explanation of like, the turtle, you're back, your things are ready, blah blah blah, your And then you guys you asked him like, where did I go? Where did the turtle guy go? Oh, he went lower.
Yeah, and I love
levels.
how we were playing it in a weird way where Brian was pretending to be Genbu's brother. Like, oh yeah, where was I saying I was heading off to next? Like, we didn't just straight up say, no, this is someone else.
Right.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I loved how you guys played it that way, like how comedic it was, and I think I love the way that you guys understood like what I was portraying. That like Suna doesn't have any form of like human human common sense. It is straight up just an ethereal being set to do one thing, and it's like a database.
Pretty much.
So you guys treated it as such, where you're like, okay, we can be smarter than the database. And where am I going? Where am I, the turtle man, going? It's like, yes, I have the answer to that. I thought that was great. I thought you guys played that really well. You guys knew exactly what I was thinking. That was a really fun scene to do. And and you guys were like, okay. You took the potions, you headed down, and then you guys were shocked to find that there was more than like one level.
Yeah,
two levels.
This was like just as it's called, the vault. Like you kept going down, and there was just more different areas.
Right.
And by the way, so I think the name, I wrote down the name Anzin. That's the name of the vault.
That is the name of the vault. Yep.
And we find out that this was all a creation of wizards.
That's correct. Yep.
Which is the story is just, it's such a mystery to me right now, but it's so good because here you see like this Epcot, like, okay, it's self-sustainable, this is the future, and yet outside there's potentially a whole dead village. So just like that dystopian contrast, it's like you really want to know what's happening next, which, man,
thank you, man.
When is the next session? When do we know if the villagers are down there or not, or if they never did get down
during
there?
This recording next week, man. We got a whole week. Yeah,
okay,
so
great.
So maybe you find the mysteries then. No, thank you. That means a lot, dude, for you to say that it's like it's that intrigue, because we were talking about a certain thing that I was doing where it's like, it wasn't the DM, it wasn't anyone else. It's the adventure, where you could feel the adventure being kind of like, you can kind of see what it is and what's going on and all that stuff. So I'm glad that this adventure has not bored you in any way, or just, feels like, this is another thing, blah, 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 that it's actually intriguing enough for you to come back, or, for you to be like, next session. When's the next session? I want next session. I want the answers now.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to flat out tell us a story. Okay, and then this happened, then this. No, just describe something and let us fill in the gaps.
Yeah,
that's all you have to do.
That's the point. That's the point. At least from my perspective of D&D, it's like, yeah, man, let me create something that you guys are meant to explore. You're meant to go there and look around and be like, why is this like this? Or what is this? Why is the things happening like this? Where, what's the point of being there if you're just there to look around and nothing is really there to be seen, if that makes sense?
No, it totally does.
So thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that this is a very interesting part. I hope it doesn't become, though, the whole like, DeMillo was the best town. Everything else.
We'll see. Honestly, like when you said, okay, there's an orb in the middle of the desert, I was like, that's why I wanted to go to it first. Cause I'm like, okay, we'll start off easy.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, I was easy. I was not expecting. Like, I was just expecting. Okay, here's like a palm tree. The orb's like in the sand, like a coconut, and boom, you got it.
You guys have to buy an orb detector and run around the desert.
Exactly, that's what
scanning the floor.
That's it. And then like the Scorpion King comes out, and then you fight him, and then you go back home, and then that's it. But no, you really contrasted the weather.
There's lore, baby.
Yeah, lore. There's a vault.
A story.
There's a whole village. Like this is an actual like town. Like it's just so alive right now, just by the history of it.
I'm surprised. I'm not too surprised, but I didn't think you guys would pick Dumilla first, if anything, and I like how it's been going so far. I like your reactions. I should say I'm glad you guys are having the reactions you're having of just like, what the frick is this? Like after the first time you guys hit Dumilla, I remember all of you standing in the foyer and you're just like, what is this place? Like, are they ghosts? Like, I'm thinking they're ghosts. Like you guys are still talking about it. And I was like, that makes me really happy that even when we're done playing, you guys are like, what the frick is this? What is going on? What's the deal? And like, so that's really great. But yeah, man, I don't want to feed my ego too much, as nice as it is. So let's continue talking about this dungeon. I guess it's a dungeon. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's a good thing to ask you is the dungeons are not traditional dungeons. How do you feel about that? I mean, this is technically a dungeon, right?
What would you say is a traditional typical dungeon?
Like a cave. You enter a cave and there's room A, room B, room C, and it's obvious that this room has traps. This room has a monster.
Yeah, there's a fight around the corner.
Another trap. Et yeah, there's always a thing around the corner. But the way to explore this one is like, it's the same, right? There might be traps, there might be monsters, but the look and feel is it's not the dark stony.
No,
cave.
Not at all. No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
It's barren in the sense of the story, because this is obviously, at least from my perspective, a very old town where nothing really has happened. But it's not, right. Like you said, it's not a dungeon. It's not a dark cave. It's not, okay, whip out your torches. No, it's like, it's as if we're walking through a town or like a haunted house.
Right.
It doesn't feel like we're just here and there's nothing else with us. Or, I mean, there are things and if there are things in here, they're obviously here to fight us. No, it's like, the story is still unfolding. It's not just a dungeon. A dungeon to me does not have a story. A dungeon is go through this cave, get the thing at the end of the level. Get
That's
out.
Interesting. That's interesting you say that. Is the Starseer Trials a dungeon?
No. Well, it's not traditional. No. It's not traditional.
Not
dungeon.
A traditional dungeon.
It's not a traditional dungeon, because I don't recall being shot into outer space and getting my ass filled up with stars in a typical dungeon. If it's memorable, it's not a dungeon to me.
Oh wow! Okay, all right. Well, that's my challenge. I'm hoping everything is memorable.
Right, Mount Moon.
To you.
That's a dungeon. Nothing fucking happened in there. There's a hiker who fought me with an onyx. That's it. I got a fossil. That's it. Here you are going through like a very bizarre version of Epcot, and just
Epcot.
Like
you're like, it's Epcot.
It is because it's the Tomorrowland.
Oh man,
it was supposed to be.
You should have said that Mickey Mouse is going to be the thing that you see last.
Exactly, yeah. But the thing is, to continue my definition of what a dungeon is and what is not a traditional dungeon, the fact that as we're going through it, yes, it's dungeon-like. We're delving, we're fighting, we're trying to get to the end point. But as we're going through it, you're telling the story of what this is, what's going on with the town. Who are these wizards? Why is there a giant ass demon tree in here? Who's this butler? All this is happening while we're trying to get to that end point.
Which I love, which is something I love, the fact that it's not me really telling you this, it's you guys asking it.
We're just so interested with everything around us. Yeah.
As you guys delve deeper, and this is a perfect transition, you guys delve deeper to level 2, which you found the med bay, their hospital basically, where you found a bunch of rooms, and there's like a garden in the center of it. And I don't know if it was before or after what happened in this room, but I remember Genbu asking Suna, like, was it Genbu? I don't know who asked Suna, but they were like, how long has this vault been standing? And he takes a while to kind of figure out how long it's been standing, and he goes, 522 years, and you guys are like, what?
And the villagers are still up there.
The villagers are still up there, and they're not in the vault. Like, it's a very strange, like, but my point to that is, it's not me. I didn't just come out as soon and was like, oh, today is the 522nd year, blah, 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 on the calendar, right? Ever since we've been open, you guys were like, okay, so there's these blue people, there's this vault that's obviously on. Why would it be on if no one's in it? And so why has it been active? And you ask that. You guys are curious about it. That's the best thing. That's the best part of this whole thing is that you guys as players really genuinely are curious at this point.
What's going on?
As like, so you asked that question, and there was actually, it might have been before, as you guys kind of had a conversation, and Suna mentions about the visitor that usually comes to hang out, to eat. I believe he considers it the hunger, and the tree comes to life in the center of the garden of the medical bay. this, and I hope I made it clear, but it was more of a demonic tree, if anything.
Yes,
and you guys had to fight it.
That was totally true. And does this demonic tree, does this have like a name in the D&D universe, or is this just a demonic tree?
I think I used a monster called a Burstuck, which I think was also from the Tome of Beasts, and it's just a creature it's a tree creature basically. It can blend in with the trees. It's not a treant, so don't think treant, but it's a humanoid looking tree creature that can blend in with trees, and then it'll turn back to humanoid and then like rip a tree out and just use it as like a weapon.
I was thinking treant, so I had the wrong
That's okay.
interpretation.
There's nothing. Yeah, I mean.
So it's kind of like a tree sprite, except like a tree alien sprite, like really big. Okay.
Yeah. You could think of it. Both work really. I'm just saying the Burstuck itself is not a treant, like the core of it, but the way I did describe it, it was essentially the tree. It was, if anything, me personally, the creature I wanted it to really, because the more we talk, the more you'll notice that I use statistics from the books, the monster statistics, but I put a different wrapper around them. Like the ice golems, those aren't ice golems. They're actually two different golems that you fought. I just call them ice statues. It's just because that's the scene I'm trying to make, right?
Yeah.
So the tree, in reality, I was thinking of what's that Pokemon called? The Pokemon that's like a tree, kind of that thing.
Well, the Trevenant.
Is it Trevenant? Yeah, I think you're
right.
The
ghost
Trevenant.
Tree. God, that thing.
Basically that. That's exactly what I was.
And that was what I was picturing in my head.
Yeah. So that's really more. So the whole point of this is, yes, the Burstuck is what that is, but in game, yes, I was really thinking more Trevenant. So you were on the right track. Is all.
Okay.
So, but anyway, you guys fought that. It ended up eating you. It ended up grooting you. I guess is the best way I can put it. It engulfed. It
eats people.
Grappled and then engulfed you as like inside of its body for a little bit.
And I think when you were describing like when Squirrel Girl got eaten, like there were skulls inside the tree.
Yes.
Like you could this thing eats people. Here you go.
Yep. There. Yes. Exactly. And you guys made it out. You fought it. You made it out alive. You did take a beating though, because I have a note here that says you guys took a short rest in the medical bay.
Yes.
So I'm assuming it was I don't remember the the exact statistics, but it sounds like it was a hard time.
I think I remember getting wrapped up. I don't think I was eaten. Like I was grappled. But yeah, I think at that point we were pretty hurting.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so any thoughts on fighting this thing? And I think the other detail I made was that you guys heard voices coming from the tree too.
That was creepy. And I think
these voices just asking to go back to the surface, or they're stuck there forever.
How did he get down here? Suna, how do you let a demon get into this tree in this peaceful garden? We'll never know. But I think you mentioned like one last line, like the demon, as he was leaving the tree, he was like, he remembers. He'll remember us. So that makes me think, okay, that's not the last of the demons, but hey, that's the whole campaign.
Right, exactly. That's what this whole campaign is.
Yeah.
Don't forget what the main story is.
Yeah.
Which it's fine. I get it. That should be the fact that you guys would forget the main story means that the current thing that's happening should be, intricate and deep enough that you're like focused on that or lost in it, I guess. But yeah. So, the Burstuck did yell that. You guys heard those voices and took that short rest. It's a weird, eerie situation, if anything. And you're like, we gotta find Genbu's brother or whatever this turtle thing is. And you continue through the vault. You guys head to the 3rd floor, and you discover the mess hall. My notes are all weird. What's in the mess hall? Was that that was the kitchen and the classrooms, is that right? And the library?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, any notes on that? From your side?
The only thing that I wrote down was just the fact that there were I was picturing, if you've ever played the Resident Evil games, the very first ones, just so many notes. Everything was portrayed to us in notes. That's something I remember. Like we would read, and then we'd kind of get a little bit more history on the vault and the situation of the town. And I thought that was really cool because, like I said, just another way to tell a story. Like not flat out saying this is what happened, but having that perspective.
Let alone, again, it goes back to you guys are the ones really discovering it, if anything. Like,
right.
You know, it's all there. Everything's laid out.
Just got to be curious enough to pick up something and learn more.
How much you guys really want to know. I guess the questions I had were specific to kind of the vegetable stew that was created and fresh, delicious food and the ball that you found.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Going back to the village, I guess, at that point. You know, it's like, okay, this is down here. That little child up there was supposed to get this. I think, I don't know if I pocketed it. I don't have my character sheet up right now, but I think somebody pocketed it.
Someone took it. I'm pretty sure someone took it.
So, man, that resolution is going to be so crazy, man. I tell you. Like, I don't know. Someone's going to disappear or, like, it's going to be either good or really sad how this is going to resolve. Or both.
They're just going to kill all you.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, we got to run out of the village. Get out of there.
You gotta blow up the village. You gotta push the nuclear button and just boosh.
I mean, hey, if it's that kind of vault, sure. Are there nuclear weapons in D&D?
I don't know, man. You'll find out next week, hopefully.
Okay, fine.
The wizards. That's just how you end it all. You just blow everything up.
Yeah, the wizards know how to split atoms with like their magic. Oh man, that'll be interesting.
But yeah, and I think that's all you guys did on that floor. It's just a small little break, right? There's some food. There's a classroom, 4 classrooms in fact, or 3 classrooms and like a daycare. But yeah, at this point, like the weirdest thing was like, at least what I was trying to do, I should say, was make it feel like there were people there. Was that a thing that you felt like it was like it was being used and all of a sudden it's abandoned?
Yeah.
And
no, that's
very strange.
That's exactly the feeling I got. That's why I was saying like, oh, okay, this is Epcot, but this is like a bear in Epcot. Like,
Gotcha.
Why is it still like fresh and fun, but no one's here?
Yeah, and the people, if anything, are alive and well on the surface. It's confusing.
Or maybe only a few people are alive on the surface, but they're actually in the vault. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
So from what I'm piecing in my mind right now, you don't have to react, but how it feels to me is, okay, these elders in their secret room made this vault just for them, but the odd thing is just the sheer size of it, because obviously it's a vault. You know, it's supposed to hold the village. So I just want to know why the elders, the wizards, whoever, you know, didn't save the people. That's the question in my character's head right now. Because like you said, there's a whole garden there. There's potions being made constantly. It's supposed to be for more than a trustee board of 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the mystery right now for me.
Yep. And you guys continue thinking of that mystery as you go through the next floor of the dungeon. And you discover... Oh, I put these notes out of order, but you discover the gym and the common place area.
Yes.
And go ahead. Yeah, it sounds like you're ready to talk about it.
The gym had some demon bros in it.
Demon bros.
Big old meatheads. We didn't want to fight them. We wanted to sneak past them, and I think you drew like a hallway that we had to sneak through, and like
I did, yes,
like branching rooms, kind of like ribs, kind of.
Yep.
We were doing good. We were doing good until, for some odd reason, the other occupant in this floor was some crazy kobold who was trying to fucking kill Brian for some reason.
Yeah. Yes, I love playing that character. Oh my gosh, I don't have his name written down. Oh, I don't think you guys got his name.
No,
that's why
I just wrote down Crazy Kobold who gave us away.
He screamed. You screamed.
He was saying
demons.
But he was saying it was a misunderstanding, at least from my point, because he was saying he was trying to protect something. He was trying to protect
mm-hmm.
And so it was like, no, man, we're something. But like it felt like a misunderstanding. The bro demon boys got into a fight with us in the tight hallway. It was very cramped. I had to.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think I had to like leapfrog to the front before I could actually do something.
Yep. Yeah, and you guys had this hallway fight scene, which I don't think you've seen Daredevil, but reminiscent of the Daredevil hallway fight scenes that they like to do on Netflix. So I imagined all that, and let alone the demons were like, what was it, 10 by 5? Yeah, 10 by 10 feet. So they were just like standing there,
right? And I think you kind of gave us some leeway too, because I think the hallway was so narrow. But then you're like, wait, let me adjust the lines a bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the one. It was so narrow, and two, I was like, oh well, technically the demons wouldn't even be able to stand here. So yeah, let me make it bigger because that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we expanded it, kind of helped both parties, if anything, and that one was able to. He had an ability to leap over you guys, so it leaped over you, and you were like stuck in between them. Violet passed out, or at least Violet got punched somehow in the gut, but like the fist went through her and she passed out, and the kobold just got knocked out with one punch, I think. Yeah, and you defeated one of the demons, and all of a sudden this robed figure
just like jumps out of nowhere.
Yeah, jumps out of nowhere
and grapples the other one.
Yep. And yeah, and you take out the other one, and the robed figure is about to attack Genbu, and stops himself and just says, "Brother," and we ended our session there. So I mean,
God
yeah,
damn
man,
it.
what?
So many questions left unsaid. No, but it was a good stopping point. The vault,
yeah, definitely.
The vault is just very interesting for this first orb. So I don't know what you have planned for the other ones, but I love it so far.
I don't know anymore.
As long as you can make each area so distinct like this, like if the level of detail is the same as here for each and every other place, I'm fine with that. That's all you need to do.
I'm not gonna say anything, man. Like, we'll find out. I'm just saying in general, like, it makes me happy that like it is as good as you are saying it is. But it also I know everything, so now I'm like, this is the bar is so high that I hope everything is.
You know the bar, so but we haven't gotten to the other places, so you know you can tweak. I guess.
But no, because it's also like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's also like, I don't know. In my opinion, I think it'll be as good as you're hoping it'll be. It just.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
It's just different. But again, I won't know until we get there, so we'll have to play it and find out. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So I mean, yeah, a lot transpired. Like, what you got for me? What you got? What's your thoughts? Spill them out, man.
I'm just glad that we ran into demons again, because, like you said, it's just tying back to the main campaign. Yeah. Man, just like the vault. I don't know if we're at the bottom. But I'm just like, who knows how long this goes down? Because if we're talking like Fallout Vault, this thing should have more than just, a rec room and a kitchen.
Joke's on you, boys. It's 100 rooms. Keep going.
Man, that'd be crazy, man. If you just kept keep going down to the center of the earth.
No, I remember, I think we were joking about making the Persona Tartarus.
What's that?
Persona 3, I believe. Tartarus is basically that whole game. So the school during the midnight hour, I forgot what the hour is called. It pretty much becomes this like 100 plus room dungeon, or I'm sorry, 100 floor dungeon, and you have to climb this whole thing to like defeat the evil that's at the top. I haven't beaten Persona yet, so I don't really know, but that's the whole game. Is like during the day you do all like the Persona-y stuff, and then during night you explore the dungeon, and you have to climb the dungeon pretty much. But the thing is, in my opinion, it's really boring. It gets really boring. It's repetitive. None of the rooms are distinct. It's the rooms. The floors. The floors are all the same. Think like random. Think a random.
Random generated.
Roguelike, yeah, random generated. It's like
yeah,
it's like they're all the same looking room. You run into monsters and you fight them, and then you climb to the next floor. It's the exact same thing.
Just so you make a left turn instead of the right. Yeah.
Exactly, and the floor, the it's not a different colored floor. It's like the same white and black floor. It's nothing, and there's 100. There's like 100 of these floors, and like I don't know if you were there, if it was just Chris or whoever, but we were just joking around that like, yeah, there's gonna be a day where I'm just like F it, and I just build this 100 floor dungeon, and it's gonna be the worst thing ever because that's the game, and then every floor is gonna be the same. It's just one thing's tweaked that's different.
I did want to bring that up with you because you know how like in traditional like RPGs nowadays, there's always that battle tower type area. Like even South Park, the Stick of Truth had one. I think it was like the shitty walk, and you just go up each floor, and you kept fighting like higher level like Huns or whatever, or Mongolians. I'm sorry, people of Mongolia. I'm sorry to offend you. But I was like, would you ever implement that? Just like kind of like a floor type, not dungeon, but just like a challenge room.
I think I wouldn't implement it in regards to story because I think it's stupid.
Oh, of course not story. Definitely not with a story, but just like as a feature of... Like...
As a feature, still no. It would have to be from you guys. It would have to be like you guys want... And I'm thinking of Paper Mario because Paper Mario has the same thing where it's like the 100 trials and it's just you go in a pipe and you fight like, you fight the Goombas, and then you go in the pipe, and then it's the next thing. It's like the Koopas, and then they get stronger and stronger.
And stronger, yeah.
If you guys ever wanted to do that, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, it would be easy, right? I would be able to, floor one. That would be the whole idea, right? Is it gets harder each floor.
Yeah, so, from bandits to 5 dragons.
Yeah. I wouldn't bother writing anything up. I wouldn't make it like the Starseer trials. I wouldn't do anything. I would just be like, this is strictly you guys fighting monsters. Yep. I'm not going to do anything else with that. And would I do it? Sure. If you guys want it, yeah, why not? There's nothing wrong with it. Are you asking me if I'm going to place it in front of you as an option? Probably not, just because let's say it is 100 rooms. I mean, how do we want to... It still goes back to you guys. Do we want it to be like video games where you get the checkpoint every 10th room and then you can actually leave it? Or are you stuck in there until you quit? And if you quit, you have to start again? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's really more of a question for you guys because at that point, it's not like a campaign thing. It's just to take your character into battle. Quest. Yeah, and if you guys want to do that, hey, yeah, let's do it. I don't mind doing that. But it's just a question I think the table would have to answer, not just me. I don't from a creation DM standpoint, I don't want to place it in front. I don't even want it to be an option. It will feel reminiscent of the Starseer trials where you guys go to it and then the next day you're like,
but just less
back
interesting.
To it. And then at some point I feel like it would just get boring, at least from my perspective, because nothing's happening. I'm just rolling dice against you guys.
No, it's just a challenge. And, we always make the comparison to traditional video games. This is certainly not a game.
Nah, I get you.
It's all story-driven. So, I personally wouldn't care if it was in there or not.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Maybe if it's like a day where, okay, it's just, me and Brandon. Okay, do you guys want to progress in the story?
Yeah.
Not really. Okay, do you want to do this 100-floor battle tower? Sure, I'll try it.
And that's interesting that you kind of make that. I guess what I'm trying to do, I don't know. Maybe that's just my DMing style. Is I like things being more. I like there being a purpose for stuff like that, or just like I want it to be kind of more flashier than it is, which is why I think in this scenario the 100 dungeons thing really is the EAA. The EAA always has a monster you can go fight, and it doesn't force you to be on that floor or be on a floor. You just kind of take it and you fight them, and it's wrapped up differently, I guess. Does that make sense? Like, I guess in my head, that's how it kind of shows itself, is rather the mercenary guild is the way to do it rather than having just a tower there that you climb.
But I feel like that's more job board. That's your traditional like side quest as opposed to like a challenge.
A challenge room. Oh, yeah. Well, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anyway, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just a matter of you guys really, really wanting it. Like, if you guys want that kind of thing, then sure, I can draft something up and implement it and go from there.
Nah, but then you're gonna start throwing in like achievements.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, you went fishing. Here you go.
Every time. Yeah, right. I wish I could make that. Oh my god, that'd be so much work. You went fishing 10 times in a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like then
you get an old rod.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't be doing things because we want to do them. We'd be doing them because we're just trying to collect
God,
things.
yeah, that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the if anything, that whole climbing the dungeon thing would be like every 10th room you get something maybe, and then every 10th room it's a checkpoint, so you can actually leave the room and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It'd be an interesting thing, and again, if you guys want it, I'll implement it. Right now, I don't really have plans to build something like that. But anyway, we got super sidetracked.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No,
Just
it's okay. It's a very interesting question. That hey, if you guys listening, if you've ran into something like that, let us know your thoughts on 100 room dungeons. I don't know how that would go, and or 100 floor challenge dungeons. I don't know the correct term. Whatever, trials. There you go. Yeah, let us know your thoughts on stuff like that. But back to our current story. I don't know, man. Yeah, anything else you have about it, Neil? Like,
I did have a question on the culture of the people there.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was still like desert Egyptian style people. Honestly, when you said snow, I thought they were all like Russian or something, like just like fur everywhere. But then it's like
okay.
But then in my mind, I'm like, oh wait, no, this blizzard wasn't here before, so I didn't know the kind of style of the buildings or anything. Everything just seemed fantasy, like typical fantasy type town.
Yeah, you know what? That is I didn't really detail that out. That is what I was thinking. Just your typical fantasy, exactly what you just said. It's not like I don't know. That's a good question, man. The detail, if I really like sitting here thinking about it now, I guess the detail would really be more
like desert folk.
Yeah, desert folk is the correct way I think to say. I was gonna say like bizarre, like the like the tents and stuff, the cloth tents, stuff like that. Essentially, kind of I guess now I'm thinking like Aladdin, yeah, like something along the lines of buildings like that. Was that clay buildings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say it's more like that. I guess I didn't pay attention too much to that detail. Mainly because the detail I wanted to focus on was the fact that it's kind of in ruin rather than how it looked. But that's a fair question. So yeah, I would say you could think Aladdin kind of desert, Middle East. Would that be the correct?
I would
location?
Say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Because Dorikuma is, if I recall, like kind of like your like a mix of like European, not Japanese, but just like Asian style.
Asian, yeah, European Asian kind of, yeah.
So that's distinct. So yeah. I would think like every other area around it is distinct as well. Right.
It's interesting, yeah. I mean, and if anything, man, ask me those questions like how it looks like and stuff, because I don't think I'm naturally. I think I have the visual in my head. But I'm not actually explaining
like portraying it
sometimes.
To the players, yeah.
Sometimes, or my detail, the things I'm focusing on is kind of the key detail that I want to make sure you guys get. Versus like, it looks this way. It's a key detail, but the focus is the fact that it's in ruin. It adds on the thing that adds on to the mystery of this whole place is what I'm trying to make sure gets out of my mouth, if anything. So, but yeah, no, by all means, yeah, ask me those questions even during gameplay. Those are great questions that make the place look way better. Trying my best to do it. There's a lot happening in my head when we play.
That's true.
But yeah, any other questions, man, about anything, just anything in general?
I mean, the questions that I'm about to ask, it's just all story, and it's all just okay. This will be revealed when you get to the end.
All right, don't ask that. Not those questions.
But I did want to ask you because, like, I wrote in my notes because I forgot. This is just me forgetting. So I just want to know if you remember because we brought up trapped in the astral plane because someone brought up Bard Kelly.
Trapped in the astral plane.
I don't know why that came up. But I just wrote it down because it was funny.
Trapped in the astral
plane. I don't know, was there like a music room somewhere or something? I can't remember.
You guys found a musical sheet.
Yeah.
By Bard Kelly. and it was trapped in the astral plane. Or it was like trapped in... Was it trapped in the astral plane?
Well, I don't think it had a title. So someone jokingly said trapped in the closet. And so I just put my spin on it because he's literally trapped in the astral plane as of now.
It was a weird mystery because Bard Kelly, according to the lore you've dug up so far, Bard Kelly wouldn't have existed 500 years ago. So how the heck that music sheet came to be? I don't know.
He's like confusing. Tupac, just like
he's immortal.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would explain that one. What else you got?
Once again, just more story stuff, but I don't know. I guess just like to wrap up the conversation, just like your perspective on the players, how we were playing that, and just like through your lens, like what were you seeing, what were you liking, what were you, I don't want to say dislike, but just like comments that you had as we were going through the vault.
I don't think there's anything I dislike. It's very hard for me to dislike things. Only when we started, we're like, it's really hard to get everyone to agree and do things. But so the dislike thing, nothing. I think I explained most of it. I mean, I'm just happy you guys are interested in what's in front of you. I'm just like, what I like is the fact that you guys are exploring everything and trying to understand what's in front of you rather than, it could have just simply been like, I don't care about any of this stuff. I'm looking for my brother. That could have been Genbu's whole thing. And you guys don't talk to Suna. You don't look in the rooms. You just go on to the next room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I think I really like, I was surprised that you split the party, but again, that was obvious why you did it, because you didn't think there would be a dungeon.
Yeah, once again, just learning the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, again, nothing wrong with that. It's interesting to me. If anything, it's just me watching me. It's my omnipotence in the game of just being like, if you're gonna die to something real, not something like that, and like, nothing insane is happening just yet, and nothing bad is happening. I mean, you're going through, you're exploring. I feel like I could have showed you the back door, but I don't know. It sounds like you actually like that. I didn't. Like, really, you guys should have found it. Like, you guys should have been like, let's walk around the oasis, or let's go, explore if there is something else across the way, or I don't know, maybe I should have explained that there seems to be a building across the way.
No, not at all. I mean, if anything, everything should be revealed by us asking.
Yeah, gotcha. And to that point, it's like, I'm okay with that. You guys are unfolding everything because you want to unfold it, and because you have that option. That's how I've always wanted to run the game. Is I have all the knowledge, I built all the knowledge, I built all the lore, and it's all there. And the only thing I could ask as you guys as players, the only thing I could really ask is that you dig just a little bit, and not even a lot. Like, you don't even have to dig a lot. Like, you can just ask like the simple stuff, like, why is Suna, what are you? That's it. One question. That's fine with me. Like, but if you guys were just like, ugh, like, we gotta go into this vault and this is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, none of that's coming out, or at least if it's happening, no one's saying it to me. But no, so far it's been fine. I think you guys are having fun. As long as you guys are having fun, I'm having fun, and that's what really matters. Is that you guys are having fun, enjoying yourselves, enjoying what's in front of you, all that good stuff. And yeah, I don't know. If we're talking about fighting wise, I don't know. Fights are always weird. I don't memorize all of your, I've gotten past the point where originally I wanted to learn everyone's characters. That way I can help you, but it's a lot. When we have magic users, it's a lot. When, we have people who are getting like 3 or 4 feats, it's a lot. You guys got to know your stuff at this point. I can't run the game and also be
like coaching us.
Yeah, coaching, yeah. Or your I can't be an actual video game engine. Like, you guys got to do your part too. And so, I mean, fight wise, I think it's fine. I mean, you guys are you guys built your strategies and you're using your techniques. You're letting me know what those techniques are. I think we gotten past the point of like, please let me know if you're doing a two-hander or one-hander, or you're throwing it, blah blah blah, because you're gonna roll the dice, you're gonna get natural 20, and you're gonna be like, oh, by the way, I did a two-hander. It's like, let me know what that is before you do it, kind of thing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's great, dude. I'm loving it. I'm loving your reactions to it. I'm loving everyone's reactions to it. So, on to the next session. Hopefully, you get your answers. And,
that's right.
And yeah, and then we could talk about, maybe what you missed or what you didn't miss or whatever may have transpired. I don't know. I got nothing else because I don't want to keep talking and accidentally reveal something.
Please don't. But no, that's good. I love these post feedback sessions. Yeah. I love how this just spawned from us just talking after every session.
Yeah, staying up till like 4 a.m.
Yeah, just like going over everything because it really is nice just looking in hindsight and just like just going over the fine details. So
yeah. And I got one final question in that regard.
What's that?
Back to the game. Well, no, I'm sorry. Back to the game. Genbu and his brother. I don't think you said anything about that.
I didn't say anything because that's not my story to talk about.
Okay.
It's like talking about someone of his family members. Like that's not my cousin. I can't talk about it.
But you're Genbu's stepbrother.
That doesn't count. There's no paperwork for that. But I will say it is great that we're finally getting into one of the first personal stories, and the fact that it's tied so well with the main campaign. It's not like its own side thing. It's not like go into the forest and go find Elliot. It's like,
damn, sorry, Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
sounds like a call out, bro.
No, but what I'm saying is
to be fair. Wait, hold on. First off, yours is hugely tied to the main campaign.
We'll see. We haven't gotten that far.
Well, I'm just saying we have because Elliot here freaking has his Elliot here and Associates stuff in the core hub of the whole entire campaign.
Yeah, but that's just place.
Oh, all right.
That's place. That's not demons and
then in my defense, some people's character, some things just didn't place well. Then sorry.
Okay, but let's stick with Genbu. Let's stick with Genbu. Like I was saying, it's great that even if someone, let's say, didn't really care about the whole Genbu's brother thing, at least they're still there for the orb.
Right.
So that's great that's the tie-in there. And I am curious to see what's going on. I'm curious why this dude is just running around a vault with apparently a cloth because his brother runs around naked. He wears like a robe, like a monk or something, just going around. Man, and why he's there. And we will figure that out later. And where he's going to go and what he's going to do.
And with that, boys and girls, I think we can wrap up the session discussion, yeah?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on our episode 4 of the Yoshi's Word Dungeons and Dragons. And on to our favorite topic of the podcast. Neil, what you got? What's your topic of the day, buddy?
As you know, we are up and coming in the video game or maybe just regular general podcast environment. So I want to switch the topic to video games.
Video games.
We've been playing a lot of Switch recently.
Switch.
Because that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 just came out.
Oh, it's so fun.
That game is very fun. We would recommend picking it up. If you have 3 other friends who are just as big as a comic book nerd as you are, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And there's a hero for everyone. Who's your favorite hero right now?
Who's my favorite hero?
To play as.
Crystal. Yeah, because the Inhumans she has a good they have a good representation this time. They have everything that Marvel has done with the Inhumans, except for S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. did a pretty good job, but the royal family has yet to be presented properly in media.
I didn't even know they were royals. I thought they were just freaks, like the X-Men.
Quick Inhumans lore: Black Bolt and Medusa are the king and queen of Adeline, which is on the moon, and Crystal is Medusa's sister. So yeah, they are the royal family of
how'd she get to
Inhumans.
Earth?
In regards to Marvel 3 or the comics, I think there's multiple. There's like different lores that exist for it.
What's just like the standard comic lore?
I don't know. The lore that I'm familiar with is Adeline, for some reason, had to move down to Earth. Like, they had to, like, leave the moon. I don't know why. So they, like, placed New Adeline next to New York.
They, like, parked the entire, I want to say, city?
Yeah, they literally parked the city, like, right next to the Statue of Liberty. And they were like, this is our land, which it really was. They literally just took up airspace, and I think they had, like, a piece of the moon floating.
Damn.
And they're like, don't bother us, and we won't bother you. We just needed to move off the moon. That's, like, what happened. So that's how I'm aware that they got onto Earth. I don't know what because that's, like, the current, modern-day comic. I don't know what they did previously, if they were ever on Earth, or if they just visited. I mean, Lockjaw can teleport with the moon and Earth, I think, so. But yeah, Crystal. So, because Inhumans deserve a good representation, and spoiler alert for both of us, I read a little quick. Apparently, you do visit Adelan in this game, which is cool, but it's the most boring dungeon according to Kotaku. So.
Oh, okay. Because, like I was saying, me and Kevin, we got farther in the campaign. Yeah, we're past that.
You went there?
Yeah.
Oh. Damn, how far are you guys?
we're pretty far, but no, dude, it's the shortest. It's not even a dungeon. It's just like the throne room, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it exactly. I heard there was nothing. There was like nothing to do in there. There's nothing to like destroy. You just meet them, and then you leave.
And then you're back you're back on Earth. It's like
no one knows what to do with the freaking Inhumans, dude.
No, man, I wanted to learn more about them, but they did not get their 5 minutes of fame. They got less than 5 minutes.
I think that's the problem with the Inhumans, though, is like they are this royal family, right? And the problem is that they're written as the royal family, so they can do no wrong, kind of thing. And that there's nothing interesting happens with them, right? There's no Game of Thrones, like, kind of like well, I guess there is. I guess Maximus is like
trying to get the throne.
Brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's it. There's nothing exciting that happens. I tried reading the Inhumans comics, and it's really hard to get into because that's all it is. It's like the cliche, like, royal family BS where the brother's evil and he wants to take over the throne. Oh, well. Now that I'm saying that, I technically wrote that, but I technically did something similar to that. But yeah, but even I agree. I think that's a cliche, and it's not that great. It's not that exciting. And yeah, that's the problem. No one knows what to do with them. So Shield did a great job, like I said. So yeah. But anyway, that's my answer. That's my long answer. Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character is tough because I told you my Luke Cage. He is like level 40 now. He's so buff. He's tanking up everything. But is he my favorite like Marvel character? I would say no. And playing like the past Marvel games, X-Men Legends, I want my boy Colossus in there, but they fucking made him DLC. It's like, why?
Dude, I wonder what the concept was picking the characters. Like, was it based off of like where they went in the game? Or was it really just like, who are the popular MCU characters
market
right
research shows that we should have Luke Cage and Doctor Strange, but not Cyclops, because,
Which is weird, though, right? Because, like, Crystal's not... The Inhumans show sucked, but apparently Crystal's, like, one of the playable Inhumans. Like, I don't know how they... I'm surprised they didn't pick Black Bolt. But I guess Black Bolt's technically OP, but... I don't know. It's interesting. So Luke Cage is your beefy boy, but not your favorite.
No, I mean, yeah, I would say Colossus, but I am looking forward to, like we were discussing earlier before recording, like Moon Knight's coming out, Blade's coming out. So they're rolling out all the more interesting characters. I think even like Kevin was joking. No, not Kevin. But you and I were joking. It's like, oh, we're not even going to touch like the original Avengers because.
I wasn't joking. I am not touching those guys.
Yeah, but still, the fact of the matter is, like, we want to see the more interesting,
right?
Not always thrown at you in movies characters,
right?
So I want to see Moon Knight. That's who I'm looking forward to.
I just personally don't like the Avengers. Sorry, Avengers fans. It's just, I think they're the least boring, the most boring rather characters that exist. I've learned recently that I'm not a fan of the perfect soldier, the Superman kind of
the
type
super
characters.
serum, yeah,
and the rich people main character trope. That's what I've learned, because and shout out another shout out to Leo. The video I just edited for him. He made a good point with Spider-Man, where Spidey's this kid that, you know, he's a kid, he's a high schooler that got bit by a spider, and now he's a superhero, and he's struggling to go to school and just be a normal kid, but also he's got this responsibility that he can protect his city now. Like, it feels weird watching, and it's not just Marvel, like, you know, Superman, Batman, it's like, okay, they have their quote unquote tragic backstories, but like Superman's the perfect guy, and I understand the whole he's in a foreign world, but like, he's still a handsome dude that's buff and can destroy everything. I'm pretty sure that there's another part of him that's like, oh, everyone loves him because he's Superman. And I'm, you know, people who are DC fans are be like, oh, you never read. I never read anything, guys. I only saw that part, and it's not interesting enough for me to dive into it. Sorry. Yeah. Same with Batman. Same with Iron Man. Okay, it's not just a Marvel or a DC thing. Same with Iron Man. Iron Man to me is boring because Tony Stark's rich. I get that he's a drunk a-hole, blah blah blah, his dad didn't love him, but sorry, he's a rich dude and everything comes easy to him. It's boring to read for me, or try to get into for me. So
but he figured out that you needed a double Mobius strip that cut in half.
Well, that's the MCU. I think is different. I think, well, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure if someone handed me like, here's the book that shows that they're like, actually they have struggles, then I'll be like, okay, I'll read it. I'm not saying I won't. I'm just saying Spider-Man makes it more obvious. Even Miles Morales, they make it more clear that like, they're confused, right? They're a human. It sucks. It can happen to you. But like, I don't know. I ain't rich. I ain't building technology because I have a buttload of money. I don't know how that works. Like, no, man. Like, sorry, I don't want to read about that. But anyway, that's why I'm not picking the Avengers.
No.
Most of them just don't seem interesting to me, but I love all the mutant.
Is there a superhero who's just like a vigilante with no superpowers? He just puts on like a ski mask and hits people with bats? I guess that'd be Watchmen, wouldn't it? Not Watchmen. It would be Kick-Ass, wouldn't it?
Kick-Ass, yeah, Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
I think Punisher is too. Punisher has no...
but he was trained in like...
Oh, I mean, yeah. So if you're saying not trained, then yeah, Kick-Ass would be probably the only superhero I could think of. That's a good question. Now I'm like curious if there is. Because
that would be my favorite superhero. The complete opposite of what you were saying. Like, he's not rich. He's probably got like a dead end job, like working in a cubicle, but by night he just puts on a mask and beats people up because he wants to.
Yeah, no, Kick-Ass would be the only one because those are just a bunch of people who are just putting suits on and man, sorry, now I'm getting like way too deep, but like now I'm like thinking of what's his name, Shazam, like Billy. That's something that's an interesting story to me, like a kid that all of a sudden becomes like an adult and has superpowers, but he's still a kid at heart, like at heart and in reality. That's his struggle. Yeah, like that's the craziest struggle, and I think that's much more interesting than just having a buttload of money. But again, I'm sure they're gonna. If anyone who's a DC fan's gonna listen to this, they're gonna tell me how wrong I am, and please do, in a nice way. Explain to me why Batman is amazingly interesting and why I shouldn't think of him as just a rich boy that does rich boy things.
Yes, let us know. And let me know who my favorite superhero should be.
Obama.
That's right. So there you go, everyone. Thanks for listening in. See, we don't just give you D&D talk. We give you video game talk. We give you comic book talk. We are just two big old nerds. And if you want to hear more podcast information and substance, please let us know what topics you would like covered.
Yeah. See you guys later.